take the knee if they wish before kick-off, although Cardiff were very keen to get things underway. Cardiff in their traditional first choice colours of all blue. West Brom in their change strip tonight of a very lurid lime fluorescent green or yellow. I don't even know what to call that colour. But it's all one and it's very bright. They're not going to miss each other passing the ball to one another, are they?
Well, I think that's a positive, don't you?
Yes.
I think obviously it'll be harder to be elusive when they're trying to sneak into the box, but yeah, it's a very bright kit. And look, it's been a bright season for the Baggies, but this is a tough test against the Cardiff City side that have been rejuvenated under the new manager. Scored a lot of goals this season compared to previous campaigns, and they're on the front foot right away.
With Josh Bowler on the right-hand side, with Cardiff attacking the canton end to our right. Plays a 1-2 with Robertson, or at least tried to. Robertson lost out, but it's picked up by the captain, Joe Rawls, who looks for Romeo. Back in the side tonight on the right-hand side. He runs into Connor Townsend and went over theatrically as far as the referee was concerned. And it's been given merely as a goal kick for West Bromwich Albion. Notably, Perry NG is playing at left-back tonight, and Marlon Romeo, the son of Jazzy B of Soul to Soul, is playing at right-back. It's his 7th appearance of the season, and that's with Jamilu Collins, of course, out with the booking he picked up on Saturday at Preston.
Yeah, I like Jamilu Collins. I think he's had a terrific season, but I think that makes sense because Marlon Romeo's a little bit rusty, and it will be easier for him to come straight in from the cold in a position that he feels more comfortable in, and he has been a right back throughout his career. Perry NG has played on that left-hand side on a number of occasions before. Shouldn't be a problem.
Oh, strong challenge there on Jed Wallace from Mark McGuinness, came flying in. What I will say about Perry NG for Cardiff is that he is a chief source of assists at the moment from that right back position. I think he's got 4 in recent times, and he was barely an assist maker before that in the previous year or so.
Well, I remember him at Crewe Alexandra, and he was a real star there. It was obvious that he was heading to bigger climbs, and he's found himself a home here at Cardiff City, and it's been pretty consistent. But as you say, yeah, he's upped it a little bit in terms of end product in recent times. He's also scored 3 goals in the Championship. You look around their defence, he's got 3 goals. Galtas, the centre-half's got 2. McGuinness has got a couple as well.
Yeah, they're sharing them around, the goals. We'll also let you know about goals going in all around the EFL tonight. There's other Championship games at Coventry, Hull, Middlesbrough, QPR and Watford. The Watford game gets underway at 8, and there's pretty much a full programme in League 1 and League 2 tonight as well. And I'll let you know what's happening with goals elsewhere. We do have reporters at Hull, at Middlesbrough and at Watford as well that we can check in with from time to time. Here on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Game settling down here, approaching 3 minutes. Cardiff in possession inside their own half, and the 2 centre-halves, Galtas and McGuinness, just exchanging passes. McGuinness hits it long, looking for Yakumete, who slips on the turf inside the West Brom half and allows the visitors to bring it away. Lovely ball just flicked down the left-hand side by John Swift, looking for Wallace, but across came McGuinness and put it out for a throw. 0-0 the score. Yeah,
McGuinness and Galtas are going to have some running to do this evening, you suspect, with Jed Wallace up front. That selection, I think, tells you plenty about the way that West Bromwich Albion are going to go about their work. He's going to run those channels and try and use that mobility of his to drag those central defenders into places they don't want to go.
Cardiff have only lost 1 of their last 7 matches here at the Cardiff City Stadium. They're making it work for them here under Errol Bulut, but remember, Carlos Corberan's West Brom are on a very decent run themselves. Won 4 out their last 5, and they're the clean sheet kings of the Championship too, Adrian Clark.
Yeah, 8 of them already this season. I think they've got 4 in their last 6 as well, West Bromwich Albion. So they're a well-drilled, organised side, aren't they? Just look at the names. I mean, they've been there years now. Darlon Furlong, Bartley, Keeper not so much, but Townsend.
Phillips is on the bench, of course, has been around for a while.
Very experienced side. Most of the players in this Baggies starting 11 are in their late 20s.
First EFL goal of the night has gone in at the DW in League 1. Wigan lead Fleetwood by a 1-0. That's Jordan Jones for the Latics, who are 5 unbeaten going into tonight. Cardiff in possession, again, just outside their penalty area. Siopis is right for the other Greek international, Galtas. Floats the ball downfield, looking for Romeo, who had made a strong run downfield, but poor touch from Connor Townsend presents Cardiff City with a throw-in almost at the midway point of the West Brom half. 0-0 the score.
Yeah, really noticeable when Cardiff City are building from the back. The two wide men just stay on the touchline, don't they? And they make the pitch feel very, very big.
Let's get a goal at the MKM Stadium in the Championship. Mark Wilson. No, we can't hear from Mark at the moment. We'll get back to him in just a moment, but we'll let you know which way that goal has gone between Hull and Rotherham United. But back here at the Cardiff City Stadium, 5 minutes gone on Talksport 2. It is Cardiff City 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. 7th against 5th. Two playoff protagonists at the very least. They might hope that they can continue really good form and shoot up the table towards the automatics. Let's get that goal news from the MKM. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, it's Hull 1, Rotherham 0. Disaster for Rotherham. Poor back pass. Talat was in on it. He was in on goal. Johansson possibly brought him down, but he was saved by the fact the ball fell to Morton. Tyler Morton tucked in from close range. Hull 1, Rotherham 0.
Cheers, Mark. So Tyler Morton 2 in 2 for him. Scored at the weekend as well in the draw at Swansea. Josh Bowler just tried to collect a lovely crossfield pass that was sent to him on the Cardiff right, but just came off his toe end and out for a West Brom throw. 0-0.
Yeah, going back to the point I was making earlier, they stay so wide. Josh Bowler on this near side, Ollie Tanner on the other flank, and it just stretches things out. And they're always looking to play that switch pass, that long diagonal, Cardiff City, to find one of the wingers. And they're out and out wide men, aren't they? Bowler and Tanner, they love to run at full-backs. Just a
break in play here. Joe Rawls has, I think, caught a blow on the nose, caught one on the mush. So the Cardiff physios has gone out to treat their captain. So Wigan 1 up on Fleetwood, Hull 1 up on Rotherham. Those are the EFL goals we've got so far. Don't forget, about to get underway over on Talksport in the Champions League. Newcastle United up against what looked, from the brief glance I had, a very attacking looking Paris Saint-Germain lineup that Luis Enrique has picked. Sam Matterface, Alan Pardew, the former Newcastle manager, and Adrian Durham, the host, are all at the Parc des Princes inside the stadium. That game is about to get underway. So if you've got the TalkSport app downloaded, you can very easily swipe between the two stations, between TalkSport and TalkSport 2, and pick up both commentaries as you wish. Rawls is back on his feet, and he's going to be okay to continue. Errol Bullitt signed 9 players for Cardiff City in the summer, including 3 players with the West Brom connections, and Carlan Grant, who came on loan, but Callum Robinson and Romain Sawyers is on the bench tonight, ex-Baggies. But Joe Rawls is a bit of a constant, no matter who the Cardiff manager is.
Yeah, I mean, it's way over 300 appearances for the club now from Joe Rawls. He's been here a long, long time. Just Mr. Consistent, isn't he, in the heart of that engine room. And we talked about partnerships. I think that he's put up a nice one with Manolis Siopis this season. Obviously somebody that he hadn't played with previously, but it's a decent combo.
Back underway on TalkSport 2. Rawls will have to wait, as you now have to, if you get treatment on the field with the physios. There's a 30-second pause before you're allowed back onto the field of play. So just for a moment, West Brom have a man advantage. They can't make it count as they try and slide the ball forward to Jed Wallace. Almost given away, but Romeo steps in front of his marker just outside the penalty area. It was Sarmiento that was closing him down, but then there's a push on Carl Bartley and a quickly taken free kick for West Brom. Poor ball through the centre circle though by Mowat, and Cardiff win it back, and Rawls is back out there, jinking his way through the midfield, looked to get the ball out to Ollie Tanner on the left-hand side, but much as with Bowler a moment or so ago, he just couldn't control it. Out for a throw. 9 minutes gone on TalkSport 2, it's 0-0.
Yeah, it's been a difficult start for Alex Mowat in the heart of the West Bromwich Albion engine room. A couple of times now he's given the ball away under very, very little pressure, so he needs to sharpen up. I wouldn't say the visitors have really got themselves going yet.
Here is Jeremy Sarmiento on loan from Brighton, down the inside left channel for West Brom. It's laid off to Connor Townsend, midway point of the half, tight to this near touchline, with West Brom attacking the Grange end to our left in this first half. And it's Mowat once again, just over the halfway line, as Bradford take the lead at Forest Green in League 2. Matty Platt, back-to-back wins for Graham Alexander since taking over at Bradford City, so they lead at the new lawn here at the Cardiff City Stadium. Cardiff win the ball back at 0-0. We've played 9 minutes. Here is Siopis in the centre of his own half. It's worked back to Gautas. Short pass infield to Rawls, who sends it out to the left-hand side, and NG. But NG's under pressure from a relatively high press from West Bromwich Albion. And the ball's gone back to Alex Runnison on loan from your lot, your mob, the Arsenal, Adrian Clarke.
He is, yeah. He had a tough time, I have to say, in the first team appearances that he made for Arsenal. He went overseas last season, and he's back in the UK. And it's a big call, actually, from Errol Bullitt, because the team were doing very well, Cardiff City, but he's changed the goalkeeper, Jack Anick, not because he was in poor form, but because he prefers the goalkeepers that play out from the back.
0-0 here, 10 minutes gone, but a second goal at the MKM. Talksport 2's Mark Wilson.
Yeah, what a goal as well, Dance. It's Hull 2, Rotherham 0. It came from a Lakilo cross from the right-hand side. It hit a defender on the back, fell in the 6-yard box. Jayden Philogene back to goal, narrow angle, just back-heeled it past the keeper and into the far post. Great goal, Hull 2, Rotherham 0.
And QPR have taken the lead against Stoke City from the penalty spot. It's Lyndon Dykes who scored from 12 yards. QPR on a dreadful run. No win in 12 for them. New manager Cifuentes still yet to taste victory, but they lead. Crawley Town lead at Notts County in League 2. Adam Campbell and managerless Morecambe lead Newport by 1-0. Mickey Mellon with the goal for the Shrimps. You're up to date with the goals around the country so far, but it's 0-0 here at the Cardiff City Stadium. McGuinness trying to keep the ball in play on the far side, couldn't do so. West Brom have got a throw. Adrian Clarke's alongside me this evening.
Yeah, Morecambe, they appointed Jed Brennan actually yesterday,
yes.
I think. So yeah, it's not news that made great headlines around the UK, but it's on a short-term deal. But he has got the job on a permanent basis. So
with Derek Adams going back to Scottish football.
That's right. It's quite a slow pace to this game, isn't it? By championship standards, often it's fast paced, it's hurly-burly, there's a lot of physicality.
They're feeling each other out, these two teams, aren't they, so far?
There's very little physical contact. You know, when one team has the ball, as Cardiff have it now, not that much pressure is being applied. They're allowed to knock the ball around amongst themselves, and it's been a similar story when West Brom have had the ball as well. It's a bit tentative.
We've played 12 minutes on Talksport 2. Now ball over the top, trying to get Mate in behind Bartley, just trying to protect the ball. Almost loses it to Kipre, to Mate, who's actually won it back. Left-hand corner of the box, Tanner finds Robinson, puts it into the feet of Rawls. Rawls tries a shot with his left foot from the edge of the area, but it's blocked away. But Cardiff will have it back. Romeo plays it into the feet of Josh Bowler, and he'll lay it back to halfway. And Gautas, but a bit more like it in terms of intensity from Cardiff City.
Just one long ball, beats both centre-halves, which was a surprise. They're two big lads, aren't they, Bartley and Kipre? But Mate has got an engine on him. He will make runs. And they're slow in possession at the back, Cardiff, and then they go bang. They go long very, very quickly in one pass. And Mate is the ideal centre-forward to play that kind of tactic.
Mansfield 0, Tranmere 1. Charlie Jolly for Tranmere. Mansfield lost their unbeaten record at the weekend. Here come Cardiff at 0-0 with 13 gone, but the ball in from the left by Ollie Tanner is cleared away, but only as far as the halfway line. Nobody in a bright green West Brom shirt to pick that ball up, so Bowler and Romeo trying to combine on this near side, but Bowler runs out of room right in front of our commentary position to throw to West Brom. Barrow lead Walsall in League 2. What a great season Pete Wild is having with Barrow, starting the night in 5th, 10 unbeaten, and Ben Whitfield's given them the lead up there in Cumbria. Throw into West Bromwich Albion for Connor Townsend. Another of those players who, as Adrian Clarke was rightly mentioning, have had a good long spell under contract at West Bromwich Albion. They give the ball away to Cardiff, though. Mate holding the ball up midway point of the Albion half. Now turns and runs at Kipre. Nutmegs Kipre. Cross comes Townsend. Gets a foot away. Walls wins it back and gets it to Ollie Tanner. Tanner into the area for Robinson. Robinson is offside. He took a shot at goal from a tight angle. Come to be dealt with by Palmer, but the flag had already gone up. But you just sense that Cardiff City here are just starting to go through the gears. 0-0, 14 gone.
Much better from Cardiff City. They just increased the tempo in a flash, didn't they? And it was Mate that was the trigger. He turns, he holds off his player, and then he charges at the defence. It's a lovely little nutmeg on Kipre, and from there, the loose ball falls to Rawls. He goes left to Tanner. Robinson really shouldn't get himself into an offside position. He was looking right across the line, but that was more like it from the hosts.
Here's Darnell Furlong, who scored West Brom's open against Ipswich on Saturday. Plays the ball down the right-hand side for Wallace to chase after. Wallace will get it right wing, passes to the edge of the area. Sarmiento takes the touch, lays it off to Diangana, but Diangana is robbed by Romeo. And now Cardiff can try and break on the counter. Robinson runs into Diangana, the ball skies in the air and it's headed back towards the halfway line by Connor Townsend, but the blue shirts of the Bluebirds will win it back. And you can just hear the atmosphere building a bit more around this stadium now at 0-0.
You can. It's a tale of two strikers, really. You've got Mate, who's very, very direct at one end of the pitch for Cardiff, and then at the other end, you've got Jed Wallace, who makes run after run after run, and he's looking to just surge into space between those two big Cardiff City central defenders, and he did so with ease there, which was a slight concern for Errol Bullitt.
Ian Downter and Adrian Clark with you on Talksport 2. You're home with the EFL. Sutton 0, Crewe 1. Courtney Baker-Richardson gets his 8th of the season for Crewe as they lead at bottom club Sutton. And Lincoln, through Daniel Mandrieu, lead at the Abbey against Cambridge United up in League 1. Cambridge 0, Lincoln 1. Ball's on halfway and Cardiff have it back with Joe Rawls, and then McGuinness works it out left to NG. Infield it goes to Siopis, who spots Bowler start to make a run down this near side. The floated pass doesn't find Bowler, though. It's won back by Connor Townsend, and now Sarmiento scampering over the halfway line. Flicks the ball out to the right-hand side where Darnell Furlong will almost get there, but that's good tracking back from Ollie Tanner to win the ball back for Cardiff City. There's a goal at the Riverside. Talksport 2's Graham Courtney.
And he's gone to Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough 1, Preston North End 0. Really nice through ball by Matt Crooks. And he's found Isaiah Jones. And he's finished it really, really well. Top corner, his 4th of the season. Now first of the night, Middlesbrough 1, Preston 0.
And Charlton 1, Cheltenham 1. Alfie May is now on 13 goals for the season, having scored a penalty to equalise for Charlton at the Valley. And Swindon lead at Accrington. Daniel Kemp gets his 10th of the season for the Robins as they lead at the Wham Stadium.
Yeah, Alfie May against his former club there. I wonder if he celebrated.
Well, from the penalty spot, it's easy not to celebrate, isn't it? And there's an early goal in the 8 o'clock kickoff at Vicarage Road. Talksport 2's Ian Abrahams.
Goal for Norwich. It's Watford 0, Norwich 1. Danny Bart's headed home from Norwich's first corner of the game after 2.5 minutes. Corner taken on the far side and Bart headed home. It's Watford 0, Norwich 1.
No doubt Norwich a little better under David Wagner in recent weeks. There was real pressure on him, but back-to-back wins have eased that pressure. And they lead at the Vic. You're up to date on Talksport 2. You're home with the EFL. 17 minutes gone. Cardiff City 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. 7th playing 5th in the Championship. Here's Connor Townsend for the visitors. Out to the near side to us, the left, and Sarmiento tries to wriggle away from Marlon Romeo, but Romeo stuck to his task well and puts it out for a West Brom throw. 0-0.
I think West Bromwich Albion will want Sarmiento and Grady Diangana on the other flank on the ball a little bit more often than we've seen so far. They're kind of almost missing those guys out and going straight to Jed Wallace, but these are talented attacking midfielders that can offer real creativity, and they can carry the ball up into Cardiff City territory. But as of yet, we've barely seen them.
Well, an interesting choice to drop Brandon Thomas-Asante to the bench and allow Swift to come back into the team and partner Wallace in those further forward positions. Wallace is down again and needing a bit of treatment just outside the Cardiff City penalty area. Gives me a chance to remind you that Talksport Breakfast is back in the morning with Alan Brazil and Alan McCoist in tow. They won't be in the same room though, because whilst Alan's at Talksport Towers, Ali is out in Paris. He's going to be taking in that Newcastle game at Paris Saint-Germain right now, and he'll be still out there in Paris for breakfast tomorrow morning.
Yeah, knowing Ali, he'd still make it back in time, wouldn't he? I mean, he doesn't mind travelling through the night. Does Ali?
Alan's just going to be gutted he's not on the Champs-Elysees with him.
He'll be fuming, won't he? But yeah, I swear Ali McCoist doesn't sleep some midweekers.
No.
He's always working, isn't he? But does a good job wherever he is.
And don't forget, next Monday from 6 a.m, Ali will be partnered with Jeff Stelling for the very first time as Jeff joins Talksport. We've done our transfer business early, well ahead of the window. So Jeff Stelling will present Talksport Breakfast every Monday and Tuesday from next week. Back here at the Cardiff City Stadium, I mentioned that Brandon Thomas Asante had been dropped tonight. Well, he's going to have to come on here because Jed Wallace is unable to continue. It's holding his groin, I think, there, Adrian Clark.
He is. Yeah, it's a real blow for West Bromwich Albion. He's a talisman for them, Jed Wallace, no doubt about that. And he started the game very sharply, but he's sort of, he's holding his midriff. I don't know whether that's a stomach issue or whether the pain is in his groin, but yeah, Thomas Asante is a very, very good substitute to come on. Stylistically, not too dissimilar, but yeah, Jed Wallace heads straight down the tunnel for treatment.
Yeah, he's gone off the field. So Brandon Thomas Asante, 4 goals this season for West Brom, is a straight swap. And we're about to get back underway with a free kick for Cardiff City. Notts County equalise at home to Crawley at Meadow Lane. That's 1-1. David McGoldrick, the old stager, equalising for the Magpies. And Bradford have doubled their lead at Forest Green. And Andy Cook from the penalty spot gives Bradford their 2nd goal of the game in Gloucestershire. Here's Dejan Garner looking for Thomas Asante. Last year run across to Swift. Swift down the left-hand side of the box for Sarmiento for West Brom. Holds it in at the dead ball line. Lays it off to Connor Townsend. Level with the edge of the penalty area. Now Swift again, left-hand corner of the box. He's surrounded by blue Cardiff shirts. He has to work it back to Mowat. And Yoxalu's there as well. Gives it back to Mowat. And West Brom have been forced all the way back to the halfway line. And Kipre, the former Cardiff City loanee. Another goal at the MKM Stadium. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Hull rampant here. Hull 3, Rotherham 0. Tyler Morton was played in, driving in on goal. Unselfishly laid the ball to Dillap. His shot powerful. Johansson kept it out. Scott Twine tucked it in a yard out. Hull 3, Rotherham 0.
That's rare for Scott Twine. He normally scores from about 30 yards. A yard out must be very unusual for him.
Yeah, he's got some show reel. Scott Twine, brilliant free kick taker, of course. But yeah, it's a bit of disruption to West Bromwich Albion. I don't think it will change the way they have to approach the game, though. Thomas Asante is a willing runner, probably more of a natural centre-forward, in truth, than Jed Wallace.
Down the left-hand side, West Bromwich Albion coming forward with Jeremy Sarmiento up against Josh Bowler. A couple of step-overs of Sarmiento, then whips the ball in right-footed. It's volleyed clear by Rawls, the Cardiff captain. Gets all the way to the halfway line, and it's worked back to Cedric Kipre for West Brom. Furlong lays it off to Bartley. Milan 0, Borussia Dortmund 1 in the Champions League. That is in Newcastle's group. They're live on Talksport right now. Newcastle in the Parc des Princes against Paris Saint-Germain. Grimsby lead at MK Dons. Raquel Pike. I think that's 2-2 for Pike as well, as the Mariners lead at Stadium MK. Young Boys lead Red Star by 1-0. And Stevenage have gone 1-0 up on Peterborough. Your old club lead at the Lamex through Luther Wildin.
Love it. Brilliant. What a season they're having.
8 unbeaten going into tonight.
Honestly, Steve Evans, I mean, he's been linked with the Rotherham job, but I don't think he would want to leave Stevenage.
Never go back, they say, don't they?
That's what they say. But, I mean, the way that Rotherham are playing tonight, it is not that appealing for him.
He's got a team that's almost named after him. You call him Steve Evansage and nobody would
I never thought
nobody would question it.
Yeah, I like that dance.
So Stevenage 1-0 up in League 2. That's 4th against 5th tonight. This is 7th against 5th in the Championship as we approach the midway point of the first half. Cardiff 0, West Brom 0. It's Marco Reus who scored incidentally for Borussia Dortmund in Milan. Borussia starting the night top of Group F. Newcastle on 4 points. Only 3 behind though, even though they're bottom of the table, Newcastle, as they go into that game against Paris Saint-Germain. 0-0. Cardiff City playing the ball out from the back through McGuinness, out to the left-hand side in NG, who looks to dummy his way past Darnell Furlong, but Furlong far too cute for that. West Brom have a throw, 0-0.
That's right. Well, that was actually Ollie Tanner. Well, it was really interesting. I was keeping my eye on Perry NG. He was doing the old inverted fullback role there from left back, which...
Oh, it's made it down to the Championship.
It has
now,
made it to the Championship, but it's quite sophisticated, and it's all about creating overloads, Dance, and that helps Cardiff City play out from the back. And even though they didn't utilise him there, it's interesting that they tried it.
Kipre, who was here on loan last season, made 43 appearances, scored a few goals as well for Cardiff City, but now back in the West Brom shirt. And his long ball forward is comfortably dealt with at the back by McGuinness, and it's back in the arms of Alex Runarsson. And he will just lay the ball out in front of him at the edge of the 6-yard box and pass it right to Gautas. Gautas along the deck into the feet of Josh Bowler, but a heavy touch allows West Brom to win it back. It's a good touch from Mowat. Now Yoxalu, tall, rangy midfielder, plays it to his left for Mowat once more. Ex-Barnsley tries to slide it down the left-hand side of the box for Thomas Asante, but that's dealt with by the back line for Cardiff. Romeo floats it up to the halfway line looking for Mayte. One back though by West Brom. Mowat again showing good strength on the halfway line. Now it's with John Swift. Swift into the centre of the half. Set up and then flicked it out to the right-hand side for Darnell Furlong. First time cross from Furlong, deep to the far post. Sarmiento gets his head on it. It's half clear to the edge of the area. Rawls doesn't get the best touch. Yoxalu is there first, and West Brom have it back in a dangerous area. Centre of the Cardiff half. Yoxalu plays it left for Mowat. Sarmiento calling for it on this near side, the West Brom left, and gets it now. Level with the edge of the area, up against Romeo. Jinks inside him, plays the ball along the deck into the box. It's only half cleared. Now Swift has it back for West Brom down the left-hand side of the box. Townsend goes on the overlap as a dummy. Swift doesn't use him. Instead, he plays it back to Yoxalu. 25 yards out. Yoxalu goes for goal and gets right underneath it. And it's out of play for a goal kick to Cardiff. 26 gone on Talksport 2. It's 0-0.
Yeah, really poor effort from Yoxalu there. It was a really patient build-up, but John Swift wasted the opportunity to play in Connor Townsend on that overlap. I thought it was a brilliant run, perfectly timed. It just needed a little flick pass to put him into the 18-yard box. He ignored him, came back out, and Yoxalu, he's 30 yards out, and it probably went 20 yards over the crossbar. Not the best from him.
Renaissance clearance for Cardiff up to the halfway line. Kipre heads it down, but straight into the path of Josh Bowler. Bowler was barged into by Sarmiento on halfway, so it's a free kick to Cardiff City at 0-0. Newport County equalise at Morecambe. Will Evans gets his 11th of the season for the Exiles, who of course ended Stockport's winning streak at 12 at the weekend. So 1-1 at the Globe Arena. And a goal up at the Riverside as well in the Championship. Talksport 2's Graham Courtney.
Yeah, it's Middlesbrough 2, Preston North End 0. Rav Vandenberg, the right back actually for Middlesbrough, and the ball has been played in, and do you know what? I don't think he knows much about it. I think it's hit him in the chest and it's gone in. Nothing that Freddie Woodman, the ex-Newcastle goalkeeper, could do about it. The Borough, though, looking really, really good here. 28 on the clock. Middlesbrough 2, Preston 0.
And Sutton United equalise against Crewe. The bottom side of League 2 pull level through Louis John. Cardiff 0, West Brom 0. Bowler picks the ball up, 25 yards out, drifts out towards the inside right position. He's still got it into the area. He's crowded out by several players. No penalty. Drops at the edge of the box. Robinson tries to wrap his right foot round it and gets it over the bar. And there are about 3 West Brom players around Josh Bowler. He went down a little cheaply, but the ball still broke to Callum Robinson. But he kept his shot, well, tried to keep his shot down, but blasted it well over. We have another goal at Vicarage Road in the Championship. Let's go to Talksport 2's Ian Abrahams.
For 0, Norwich 2. Watford gave the ball away to Sarah midway inside her own half. One pass to Wang, one touch, 25, 30 yards out. He's buried it past the goalkeeper Hamer, who really should have done better as it soared over his head. Watford 0, Norwich 2.
Impressive stuff from Norwich City. And Atletico Madrid lead at Feyenoord in Celtic's group, but that's academic for Celtic, as you heard earlier on Talksport 2. They lost 2-0 at Lazio, 2 goals from Ciro Immobile, and they're out of Europe altogether. Celtic, they cannot even qualify at this point for the Europa League. Now West Brom are in danger of giving away a corner here, and that's exactly what they've done as they've been mucking around in possession on their right-hand side. Furlong and Bartley, the men responsible for giving away a corner to Cardiff City, 0-0.
Yes, the cheapest of cheap corners. They'll really be ruining this if the Bluebirds punish them, and they are the strongest side from set pieces in the Championship. 11 goals from Cardiff City from corners and wide free kicks so far this term. Can't afford to give too many of these away against them.
Rawls is going to take the corner kick. There's a cluster of blue shirts around the penalty spot. In it comes from Rawls. Goes over the head of McGuinness. Mayte got the shot in. Might come out to the right-hand side of the box. It's kept in play by McGuinness, who's playing as a right winger for the moment. 3 West Brom players around him, but he still won a corner. Good play from Mark McGuinness, 0-0.
Didn't he do well? It was all on his own. No option really for him, but to act like an auxiliary winger, he doesn't really throw in a trick as such, but he turns and deliberately plays the ball off of the defender out for another of these corners, and they got the first contact on that previous set piece, did Cardiff. They've got that runaway train, the 4 players on the penalty spot. Can one of them get on the end of this?
Left-footed in-swinger to come from Joe Rawls for Cardiff City. This time it hits the first defender at the near post, Yoxalu. Only half cleared, though, by West Brom, but they might be able to counter like they did on Saturday against Ipswich, and away they go with Diangana into the half-out pace, plays it left. Here's Sarmiento inside the area, round the keeper, off the post, and away from danger for Cardiff. So nearly West Brom punished Cardiff the way they punished Ipswich on Saturday. It was slipped through this time from Diangana to Sarmiento. The ball trickled towards the goal, hit the foot of the post, and went away. And it stays 0-0 on Talksport 2 somehow.
Scintillating counter-attack from West Bromwich Albion. Grady Diangana, who's having a terrific season, makes a scorching run down the centre of the pitch. He plays the perfect pass for Sarmiento. He takes the ball with his right foot and then just passes it towards the bottom corner with his left, and it agonisingly clips off the post. In a way, you wonder whether one of his teammates might have slid in there and knocked it in rather than wait for the ball to roll into the empty net. I think the opportunity was there for that to happen.
So nearly an opener for the visitors, but it stays 0-0 here. Swindon have doubled their lead at Accrington Stanley, and Jake Young now has 16 for the season. Accrington 0, Swindon 2, and Stevenage, Adrian Clark's old club, have doubled their lead against Peterborough. Ben Thompson making it Stevenage 2, Peterborough 0, and Blackpool, fresh from ending Portsmouth's long unbeaten run, they've gone behind at home to Northampton Town. The Seasiders trail to Kieran Bowie, who scored for the Cobblers. You're up to date on Talksport 2 with all the EFL action this evening. More EFL action tomorrow night. Will be at Ellen Road, myself and Danny Mills, a 7:45 kickoff. Leeds United against Swansea City. Ball's back with the West Brom keeper Alex Palmer. There's a high press from Cardiff, but West Brom appear to have played round it. Bartley up to the halfway line. Swift lays it off to Yoxalu. There's a good run from Townsend in the inside left position, but they've given it away. And here comes Josh Bowler. Good run from Bowler into the area. All the way, Josh Bowler. Oh, great save, Alex Palmer. Got something on it. It looked for a moment that Josh Bowler had slipped the ball underneath Palmer, but the West Brom keeper got something on it, pounced on the loose ball, and it stays 0-0.
Wonderful wing play from Josh Bowler. He picks the ball up only just inside the opposition half, and he's only got one thought on his mind, and that is to run at the opposition defenders. He twists, he turns, he somehow wriggles between two, and the shot's going in. It's brilliant goalkeeping from Palmer. He's out off his line, narrows the angle really, really quickly, and basically gives Bowler nothing to aim at with that angled shot.
Well, there's evidence that we've just seen there why Alex Palmer's got 8 clean sheets so far in the Championship this season. So both goals very nearly breached in the last couple of minutes or so here on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. It is still goalless, though, between 7th place Cardiff City and 5th placed West Bromwich Albion. Coventry Plymouth still 0-0. Hull, as you've heard from Mark Wilson, 3-0 up on Rotherham. Middlesbrough 2-0 up on Preston. QPR 1-0 up on Stoke, and Norwich in the 8 p.m. kickoff are 2 goals up at Watford. Doncaster take the lead against Colchester in League 2. Tom Smith with an own goal to put Donny ahead. The ball's at the back for West Brom with Okay Yoxalu. Gets his head up and then just flicks the ball to his right for Kyle Bartley. Back it goes once again to Yoxalu, and now Cedric Kipre carrying the ball up towards the halfway line. Siop is waiting for him on halfway, so it's played out left to Sarmiento, who's gone closest of all for West Brom in this opening 34 minutes on Talksport 2. Sarmiento plays the ball back infield to Yoxalu, spots Furlong in space, but tried to drive the ball downfield, but it came off the chest of Yaku Mete, and Joe Rawls tidies up for Cardiff City and plays it out to Bowler. Now Marlon Romeo in the right-back position. Got Thomas Asante for company. Just plays the ball over the top, trying to get Mete in behind Kipre. But Cedric Kipre watched that aerial ball all the way, but the ball's only half cleared. Cardiff have it back with Callum Robinson. Out to Tanner. almost at the left-hand corner of the box. NG on his outside, taking on Darnell Furlong. Into the area, Perry NG. Tries to lay it back to Rawls at the edge of the box, but it was ricocheted away by a West Brom leg. But comes back out to Manilisiopis. Now Joe Rawls. Slides it out to the left-hand side, and Perry NG. Good ball in field for Robinson. Robinson tried to drag the ball away from Alex Mowat. It's only half cleared by West Brom. And Romeo has it now, right in front of our commentary position on this near side, the Cardiff right, as they attack the Canton end. 10 to half-time, 0-0 the score. But the game's just growing in tempo as we go through this first half.
Yeah, it is. Those long passes, though, from Cardiff, knocking the ball around for fun, aren't they? Making a lot of short passes at the back.
Oh, and given away almost by Runnison to Thomas Asante at the edge of the area. Just hesitating before clearing the ball, the Cardiff keeper. And Thomas Asante on him in a flash and very nearly stole it off him.
Wow, so close to a humiliating error there from Runnison.
But here comes a Cardiff counter-attack for Cardiff City. Romeo coming forward for the Bluebirds. Gets to the right-hand corner of the penalty area, being held up, and he's pushed by Alex Mowat, and Cardiff City have a free kick. 25 yards out, but quite a way to the right of centre, 0-0.
Yeah, he's grateful that he felt contact there because he'd run out of ideas. Marlon Romeo, he'd surged up the wing, he turned back, and all of a sudden there were two players on his tail. He was waiting for contact and he couldn't wait to hit the deck. At the other end of the pitch, Runnison just wanted way too much time. There's hesitation on his part. And remember, he's in the team because he's the more confident playing out from the back. For me, I'm not sure about Runnison. I know he's an Arsenal player, but he struggled badly at first team level there. He made a mistake at the weekend as well against Preston. I'm surprised he started tonight.
So, free kick for Cardiff City at 0-0. Robinson and Rawls are the two players standing over it. Robinson will deliver it right-footed, deep into the near post, and it's headed away by Mo. It comes out to this right-hand side, and Rawls fighting for possession with Thomas Asante. But the West Brom substitute got his foot in and got it clear, only as far as the halfway line where Siopis keeps it in play. Looking for Callum Robinson down this near side. Half cleared by West Brom. Good strong header from Sarmiento to keep the ball away from Bowler, and then Yoxalu is fouled. Free kick to West Brom at 0-0. Mansfield have equalised against Tranmere. Rhys Oates for the Stags at the one call, and Wrexham just one defeat in 13 are 1-0 up at Harrogate Town. Andy Cannon with the goal for Wrexham, and another goal at the Riverside in the Championship. Talksport 2's Graham Courtney.
Yeah, I'm the goal pig. Middlesbrough 3, Preston North End 0. Isaiah Jones with his second of the evening. Lovely goal as well. Ball played through to him. He didn't have to break stride, and he's dinked the ball over the Preston North End keeper in the back of the net. Great finish. We've got 38 on the clock here. The Borough looking nailed on for 3 points. Chance here actually for Isaiah Jones. Oh, Jones might actually get his hat-trick here. He's played through. Oh, really good block by the goalkeeper. Borough 3, Preston 0.
Cardiff 0, West Brom 0. We've got 8 minutes to half-time here on Talksport 2. Cardiff have had a decent chance to take the lead through Josh Bowler, but equally Sarmiento could have got West Brom in the lead. A shot that trickled past the keeper and hit the foot of the post.
Yeah, probably shouldn't be surprised that it's a low-scoring affair. Cardiff have let in 4 goals in first halves all season. They've had 17 matches.
It's very strong.
Only conceded 4 goals in the first half of games, so they start pretty cagily. Could easily be one behind though when Sarmiento hit the post. 0-0
here, but Newcastle lead over on Talksport in Paris. Alexander Isak makes it Paris Saint-Germain 0, Newcastle 1, and Portsmouth, having lost their unbeaten record in the league at the weekend, are 1-0 up at Burton through a Colby Bishop penalty. 0-0 here. Let's check in at the Vic with Talksport 2's Ian Abrahams.
Watford 0, Norwich 2, and Watford aren't even at the races here. Norwich dominating. Danny Bart's header inside 2.5 minutes, and Wang from 30 yards out. He's since been replaced through injury. Ashley Barnes of him, but Norwich have another corner from which they might make hay as it's delivered towards the far post. Headed goalwards, and Hamer has to tip it over. Watford 0, Norwich 2.
Ball's back with West Bromwich Albion in their own defensive third as we head round to the last 6 minutes of the first half. Cardiff City 0, West Bromwich Albion 0 in the Championship on your home of the EFL. Talksport 2. Here's Yoxalu looking for Connor Townsend in a bit of space as he moves into the Cardiff City half of the field. Yoxalu gets it back, gives it to former Barnsley man Mowat. And then it's stroked out to Sarmiento, left-hand side, level with the area. Checks onto his right foot, whips a ball in near post. It's only half cleared by Gautas. Might drop for Mowat at the edge of the area, Diangana, but Mowat was pushed. Free kick to West Bromwich Albion, right at the edge of the D, dead centre, 0-0.
What a position this is for the Baggies. They didn't really clear the ball convincingly, Cardiff. It's just a little touch, I think, from Joe Rawls. Is there a tug on the shirt? It's minimal contact. Doesn't need a second invitation to hit the deck, Alex Mowat. And this free kick, well, it's right on the D, on the edge of the D. And they'll be fighting over this one, Dance.
Well, surely John Swift is the favourite for this, the top scorer, 6 goals this season for West Bromwich Albion. But you're right, there's a whole clutch of West Brom players in those lime green shirts standing around the ball. Thomas Asante's there. Even Carl Bartley's getting involved. Not sure he's going to strike it by the end of it.
No chance, Carl. Just
Grady
walk away.
Diangana will fancy a bit of this, maybe, I don't know, but...
Alex Mowat is a very good technician as well. I saw him score many goals from this kind of range in a Barnsley shirt. He's not been quite as prolific at West Bromwich Albion, but yeah, John Swift has got a wonderful track record from dead ball situations.
Well, players are gradually moving away of a West Brom persuasion from where the ball is. But Mowat is very carefully placed the ball down. Townsend, Swift and Thomas Asante are all still there around the ball. Reading lead against Carlisle meantime. Sam Lavelle with an own goal putting the Royals in front of the Select Car Leasing. And Wrexham have doubled the lead at Harrogate. 2-0 they lead Elliot Lee, getting his 11th of the season for the Dragons. So, with 4 minutes to go in this first half, big moment for West Bromwich Albion. Mowat and Thomas Asante now appear the two most likely. Swift has moved away, and they're taking their sweet time, getting ready to take this free kick.
It's a long build-up, isn't there, to this? The referee has got that wall back, though. It looks every bit the 10 yards. It looks even further than 10 yards away. This is a good opportunity. I'd fancy this from the edge of the D, Dance.
Well, Connor Townsend looks like he might fancy a crack at goal here. There's 3 players all shaping as if they're going to shoot. Which one's actually going to take the shot? It's Thomas Asante with a shot into the wall, comes out to Thomas Asante, blocked at the second time of asking, and after all that build-up, West Brom's free kick comes to nothing. 3 to the break, 0-0.
Oh, what an anti-climax. Really, really poor effort from Brandon Thomas Asante. He's got straight into the middle of the wall. They had all that time to think about it. Maybe there was too much time to dwell on that, but that is a wasted opportunity for West Bromwich Albion. I mean, it's been a very even half, hasn't it? I think that counter-attack from West Brom was fantastic, but Cardiff have had their moments too. Josh Bowler's been their go-to player. I think he's giving Connor Townsend a difficult time on this near side. Yaku Meite's runs in beyond, also a problem for Kipre in this first period, but not enough clear-cut chances.
Oh, good defending by Cedric Kipre as Meite flicked the ball on down the right-hand side. Josh Bowler was making tracks to get hold of the ball, but it was superbly protected behind for a goal kick by Cedric Kipre. Doncaster 1, Colchester 1. Joe Taylor equalises for Colchester, now under the management of Matty Etherington. And Young Boys 2, Red Star 0 in Manchester City's group. That's all academic because Manchester City and Leipzig are already through. I think Leipzig are ahead at the Etihad as well in that game. Here's Ollie Tanner for Cardiff City down the left-hand side. Great strength from Yoxalu to win the ball back, but then he runs into Joe Rawls, who wasn't going to give up. And the ball's eventually out of play for a West Brom throw as Carlisle equalise at Reading in the 8 o'clock kickoff in League One. Luke Plange makes it Reading 1, Carlisle 1. Ball's back with Alex Palmer, who made an excellent save to deny Josh Bowler for Cardiff City's best chance of this first half. Kipre under pressure from Meite, gives the ball back to Palmer. Palmer passes out to Darnell Furlong. First time clearance up to halfway, straight down the throat of Mark McGuinness. First touch wasn't great, but the second touch was excellent. But then Rawls gives it away. Strong run from Furlong, but he's lost out. A few challenges flying in on the far side of the field. The ball's won back eventually by the calm Okay Yüksel, who plays the ball into the centre circle. Ball finds John Swift on the halfway line, gives it to Cedric Kipre as Stoke equalise at QPR, 1-1. Ryan Mee with the equaliser, And Porto lead in Barcelona. Pepe Aquino. Now Shakhtar won earlier against Antwerp, making that group very interesting. They were all on 9 points going into Barca's game against Porto.
They couldn't go out, could they, Barcelona? Well,
can you imagine that, eh?
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah, they're in trouble if they lose that game.
So QPR 1, Stoke 1. Hull 3, Rotherham 0. Middlesbrough 3, Preston 0. Watford 0, Norwich 2. Still no goals, Coventry, Plymouth, and no goals here either, as we're about to go into 3 minutes of minimum added time. It is Cardiff City 0, West Bromwich Albion 0 on Talksport 2. Kipre again forced to go back to his keeper Alex Palmer. Palmer out to the right hand side and Furlong. He's been closed down by Tanner. Early ball downfield for Dejan Garner, protects it well. Yoxalou flicks the ball with the outside of his boot to the centre of the pitch, and Connor Townsend finds Kipre. They're moving the ball a bit quicker now, West Brom. Here's Dejan Garner wriggling away down this left-hand side, and Townsend suddenly in behind Marlon Romeo. Deep cross, but beyond everybody in a West Brom shirt who'd gone to the near post. The ball went far, and eventually the offside flag went up anyway. So it's a free kick to Cardiff, 0-0.
Yeah, frustration again for West Bromwich Albion, but it's the wingers that are catching the eye. They've not maybe had enough of the ball, but I think Sarmiento has had some good moments. Josh Bowler on this near side. We've seen Dejan Garner with that unbelievable counter-attack on that flank. Probably the one winger that's losing their individual battle. Maybe Ollie Tanner on that far side at the moment. Darnell Furlong, really experienced player, of course, seems to be taking good care of him.
Carlisle were not level at Reading for long. Harvey Nibbs has just put Reading back in front in League One. That's 2-1 at the Select Car Leasing. And Josh Earl's been given a second yellow card for Fleetwood. They're already 2-0 down at Wigan. 2 lemons make a strawberry. He's off. Now, Mate down the right-hand side for Cardiff City. Looking to take on Townsend, gets to the area, pulls it across the face of goal, but it's calmly cleared by Kipre and out on this near side for a throw, 0-0.
Yeah, 0-50 in about half a second there from Yaku Mate. Standing start, he just knocks the ball past Connor Townsend, leaves him for dead. He did really well, actually, to get across into the box. Unfortunately for him, it was repelled, but he is a handful, Mate.
Barcelona have equalised against Porto as soon as they went behind at the new camp. Joao Cancelo making it 1-1. Ball's up towards the halfway line, but headed up in the air by Gautas, the centre half for Cardiff City. Just drop out of play for a throw to Cardiff City. The former Millwall man, Marlon Romeo, just drives the ball on his blue jersey, looking for an option. We played 2 minutes of the minimum 3 that have been added on. Throws it into Mate, went to ground under minimal pressure really from Townsend. Thomas Asante tries to bring the ball away, helped out by Sarmiento, but he ran into Gautas, who very calmly gives the ball back to his keeper Runarsson. Long ball downfield, but Mate can't chase after that. He's offside, so the ball will bounce through to the keeper. We've had 2 quick goals at the Vic. Ian Abrahams.
2 in 2 minutes dance for Watford. Watford 2, Norwich 2. Norwich coasting it to the half-hour mark when Ishmael Kone from 25 yards out beat George Long to his left-hand side low in the corner, and within a blink of an eye, Jamal Lewis down the left-hand side cross for Rajovic, close range to head the ball home. This game has changed massively. 34 gone. Watford 2, Norwich 2.
Thank you, Moose. And back here, the half-time whistle has just gone at the Cardiff City Stadium. Honours even between these two sides, either side of the dotted line for the playoffs. 7th against 5th at the start of the evening, and Cardiff City had their best chance when Josh Bowler wriggled his way into the penalty area, thought he'd slipped his low shot underneath Alex Palmer, but the West Brom keeper somehow got something on it to keep it out. And at the other end, Jeremy Sarmiento, one of 2 players brought in by Carlos Corberán tonight, he got a shot away that trickled goalwards from just inside the box, but it hit the foot of the post and went away from danger for the Cardiff City point of view. So goalless at the break, Adrian Clark. What have you made of that first 45 minutes?
Very, very even. 2 good sides wanting to play football. Both like to build from the back, and lots of possession. Some good interchanging of positions, but really neither side has produced sustained pressure for long enough. We've seen them come to life in patches of that first half, but I wouldn't say that either defence has had to work especially hard in that first period. We've had 9 shots in total, pretty evenly shared. I expect better in the second period. I certainly want the goalkeepers to be put into a little bit more action than we've seen so far.
Yeah, certainly there was that one very nervous moment at the back for Alex Runnison in the Cardiff goal where he almost presented the ball straight to Brandon Thomas-Asante. That's a blow for West Brom as well. We should mention the fact that they lost Jed Wallace in the first half to what could be a stomach injury or a muscle injury. But Thomas-Asante, not a dissimilar sort of player to Jed Wallace, so...
Well, he's scored plenty of goals this season, Thomas-Asante, so that in itself isn't a problem. He's more of a natural centre-forward than Jed Wallace, but it's a blow for the coming weeks, isn't it? Because he's such a key man for West Bromwich Albion, and they're in the mix for promotion this season, and they don't want to lose him for an extended period. I think they grew into the half, the Baggies. I think that the central midfield pair of Yokozlu and Moet got better the longer that half went on. In particular, Yokozlu started to put his foot on the ball and keep things ticking over quite nicely. I think that Carlos Corberán will be the happier of the two managers. Really, Alex Palmer's only been called into action with that one really good save, coming out sharply to make the block from Josh Bowler. I think you would have expected a bit more concerted pressure from the Bluebirds, but it's yet to come.
Adrian, thank you for the moment. All to play for in the second half here then at the Cardiff City Stadium with the score Cardiff 0, West Brom 0. They've reached the break at the MKM in the Championship. Let's get the details of the first half there with Talksport 2's Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Hull 3, Rotherham 0 at the break here, Dance. An utterly dominant Hull performance that saw them going in front inside 5 minutes after Delap pounced on a loose back pass. The ball fell to Tyler Morton, who rolled it into an empty net. They doubled their lead 4 minutes later. Cross from the right-hand side from Lakilo. It fell to Jaden Philogene. Back to goal. Backheeled it through a sea of bodies. His fifth in his last 7 to make it 2-0. And then Scott Twine, after more good work from Morton, who unselfishly set up Delap. Delap's pile driver was well saved by Johansson. Twine was there to tuck in his first of the season. We nearly had a miraculous goal as well just before the break. Jacob Greaves, the centre-half, picked the ball up inside his own area, weaved his way past 3, up towards and over halfway, played a 1-2 on the edge of the box, little cheeky Cruyff turn, he's in on goal, he waits for the keeper to make his move, but Johansson made a great save, would have been a fantastic goal, but the home fans happy here. It's Hull 3, Rotherham 0.
And I should think the home fans are happy at the break up at the Riverside as well. Graham Courtney.
I think delirious is the word. Middlesbrough 3, Preston North End 0. Terrific opening half by the Borough. They look so good when they go forward. The defence is a bit dodgy, but going forward, never a problem. 16 on the clock. Fast break by Middlesbrough. Ball played to Isaiah Jones. He didn't need to break stride, and he slammed it home. Nothing the keeper could do about that one. 10 minutes later, ball floated into the Preston box. It actually hit the Borough right back, Rav Vandenberg, in the chest. I don't think he knew much about it. It ricocheted over the line for the Borough second. Then shortly after that, well, another pinpoint ball into the path of Isaiah Jones, and he's dinked the ball over the Preston keeper. A really, really cool finish. As for Preston, really disappointed by them. I mean, they're in the playoff positions at the moment, and, well, they haven't had a shot on target. In fact, they've only had 2 shots overall. I could have saved them. Middlesbrough 3, Preston North End 0.
Thank you, Graham. We'll give you a full classified check of what's going on half-time in the EFL in just a moment, plus full second half commentary to come from here at the Cardiff City Stadium, where the score at the break is Cardiff City 0, West Bromwich Albion 0.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League.
Kick off your Sunday morning with a weekend sports breakfast on Talksport with goals. The free football pull-out with the Sun. Scores! Lace up your boots with the nation's brightest sports breakfast, featuring insider news, big match previews, and expert analysis from Tony Cascarino and Natalie Sawyer.
Oh, it's absolutely magnificent!
Get fully loaded for football with a weekend sports breakfast, Sunday morning from 6 on Talksport with goals. The essential free football pull-out with the Sun every Saturday, Sunday and Monday.
Righty here for Gillette. Have I got something for you? The Gillette Labs razor has a unique exfoliating bar that clears the path before the blades for effortless shaving in one stroke, leaving you fresh and ready to take on your day in no time. And at Gillette, we promise you that Gillette Labs is the ultimate shave, or, I've always wanted to say this, your money back. Gillette, the best a man can get. 18 plus, retain receipt, terms and conditions apply.
Just imagine what your best Christmas ever would sound like.
Thank you for calling National Lottery. I can see you're calling about a winner today. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think I have. I just need to double check before I do a cartwheel.
Yeah, I can confirm that you have won the top prize, 1.2 million.
Oh my word! Happy Christmas! What do I do now?
you have the best Christmas ever. This Christmas, it could be you. The National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
In the middle of Lidl, it's all fun and games because the Lidl Big Toy event is back. Get Hot Wheels play sets for just $6.99, a Harry Potter Lego set for $19.99, and Barbie Mermaid for just $6.99. These and more in store from Thursday, 30th of November. Now that's big on quality and always Lidl on price. Subject to availability, selected stores, GB only.
Ah, that'll be my Amazon delivery.
That's how you respond. Magnificent goal. Brilliant finish.
This Christmas, Santa isn't the only one bringing you presents. Amazon delivers the Premier League with 10 live matches from the 5th of December. Only on Prime.
And here they come. What a magnificent sight. Yes, it's live British horse racing on the radio, and Talksport 2 have got it covered. Tomorrow afternoon from 1, Talksport 2 will bring you full coverage and live race commentary of all the action. Direct from Hereford. Saddle up for live British horse racing on the radio. Download the Talksport app and swipe left. Or ask your smart speaker to play Talksport 2 to follow all the action. Tomorrow afternoon from 1 on Talksport 2.
Tuesday night from 6.
Get bowled over with the Cricket Collective, the fast-paced cricket show on Talksport 2. That'll hit you for 6.
Down the pitch, he's edged it.
It's a pitch-perfect delivery of first-class cricket news, boasting an impressive strike rate of exclusive big-name guests, dissecting the week's biggest fixtures, and fielding fierce fan reaction.
Oh, you little ripper.
Don't get caught out. Listen to the Cricket Collective.
Tuesday night from 6
on Talksport 2.
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
7th against 5th on your home of the EFL. Cardiff City against West Bromwich Albion. Only half cleared though by West Brom, but they might be able to counter like they did on Saturday against Ipswich, and away they go with Diangana into the half-out pace, plays it left. Here's Sarmiento inside the area, round the keeper, off the post and away from danger for Cardiff. So nearly West Brom punished Cardiff.
Scintillating counter-attack from West Bromwich Albion.
And here comes Josh Bowler. Good run from Bowler into the area. All the way, Josh Bowler. Oh, great save, Alex Palmer. Got something on it. It looked for a moment that Josh Bowler had slipped the ball underneath Palmer, but the West Brom keeper got something on it. Welcome back to the Cardiff City Stadium. Ian Danter and the former Arsenal and Stevenage winger Adrian Clark, your team here tonight. It's goalless at the break between Cardiff and West Bromwich Albion, 7th against 5th. Let's run you through the other half-time scores around the country in the EFL. Elsewhere in the Championship, Coventry 0, Plymouth 0. Hull 3, Rotherham 0. Middlesbrough 3, Preston 0. QPR 1, Stoke 1, and they're still playing in the first half at Vicarage Road. Watford 2, Norwich 2. Into League 1, these are all half-times. Barnsley 0, Wycombe 0. Blackpool 0, Northampton 1. Bristol Rovers 1, Leyton Orient 0. Burton 0, Portsmouth 1, Cambridge 0, Lincoln 2, Charlton 1, Cheltenham 1, Exeter 0, Shrewsbury 0, Oxford 0, Bolton 0, Port Vale 0, Derby 0, Stevenage 2, Peterborough 0, Wigan 2, Fleetwood 0, and Reading 3, Carlisle 1 is just in the last knockings of the first half. Into League 2 half-times, Accrington 0, Swindon 2, Barrow 1, Walsall 0, Doncaster 1, Colchester 1, Forest Green 0, Bradford 2, Gillingham 0, AFC Wimbledon 0, Harrogate 1, Wrexham 2, Mansfield 1, Tranmere 1, MK Dons 0, Grimsby 1, Morecambe 1, Newport 1, Notts County 1, Crawley 1, Stockport 0, Salford 0, Sutton 1, Crewe 1, and in the Champions League, Lazio 2, Celtic 0. More on that in the moment. That was the early kickoff that finished at 7:30. Celtic out of Europe. Elsewhere in that group, Feyenoord 0, Atletico Madrid 1 at a half-time score. In Group F, AC Milan, Dortmund 1. Over on Talksport, they're still playing in the first half. Paris Saint-Germain 0, Newcastle 1. Alexander Isak with a goal for the Geordies. In Group G, Manchester City 0, RB Leipzig 2. Not that it matters, both teams have qualified. Young Boys 2, Red Star 0. And Group H, earlier Shakhtar beat Royal Antwerp by a goal to 0. Barcelona 1, Porto 1 is a half-time score. One game in the Scottish Premiership tonight, Ross County 0, St Mirren nil. You're up to date with all the goals at half-time here on Talksport 2. Earlier, we brought you live commentary from the Champions League as Lazio hosted Celtic. The Scottish side had to win in order to keep their European football dream alive for another season. But this was how the game played out, with Joe Shannon and the former Chelsea defender Scott Minto on commentary.
The Celtic, it all comes down to this. Failed to win, and their European dreams are over. Back to Matteo Guendouzi. That's a lovely ball to the far post, and the header over the top from Felipe Anderson. Fortunately for Celtic, ended up flying over the crossbar. O'Reilly edge of the D, lays it square to Kyogo. Kyogo inside the penalty area, just wide of the far corner. That's a huge chance for Celtic. Guendouzi to the corner of the penalty area now, and Isiksen. Will he cut back inside onto that favoured left foot? He does. He shoots, deflected him, Immobile! Taps it in from inside the 6-yard box, and that is surely that for Celtic. Blows it high to Immobile, shrugged off scales. He's in the box, he turns, he shoots, he scores. That is that, well and truly. It's a wonderful finish from Ciro Immobile. It's desperately harsh on Celtic, but their European dream is over for another season. It's been ruined by Lazio and Ciro Immobile, and it's Lazio 2, Celtic 0.
Just brilliant.
So commiserations to Celtic, who go out of Europe before match day 6. They are bottom of Group E after that 2-0 defeat in Rome to Lazio. Don't forget, more Champions League football at tea time tomorrow night on Talksport 2. Wow, Galatasaray against Manchester United. I wonder whether the welcome to hell banners have been out for the United squad as they arrive in Istanbul for that one.
Yeah, I suspect so. It's a tough assignment. Galatasaray, it's always hostile there, we know that, and they'll be massively up for it, the supporters. Because they've got a chance, haven't they? Galatasaray are progressing into the knockout stages. United are such a strange team, aren't they? Because the performances are pretty mediocre by their club standards, yet they're flying in terms of results at the moment. Anada's got a lot better, hasn't he? And I think that Harry Maguire is playing ever so well as well.
And Højlund knows how to score in the Champions League, even if he can't score in the Premier League just yet. That's tomorrow at 5:45 here on Talksport 2. Galatasaray against Manchester United in the Champions League. And then straight after that here on Talksport 2 will be at Ellen Road in the Championship. Leeds United against Swansea City. It's not just live football we cover here on Talksport 2. Range of live sports, rugby union, rugby league, NFL at the moment. And of course, we're only a couple of weeks away from the World Darts Championship at Alexandra Palace. I was there yesterday when the draw took place for the first and second rounds for the Jamboree at the top of Muswell Hill. And this weekend we do bring you the beginning of England's cricket tour at the Caribbean, exclusively live on Talksport 2 and our brand new YouTube cricket channel on the Talksport network. 3 one-day internationals, 5 T20s against the Windies. We'll have the lot for you, can't wait for that. It's going to be absolutely superb with our top cricketing team, John Norman, Guy Swindles, Steve Harmison and the team. We'll bring you ball-by-ball commentary with no adverts during the course of our coverage. Leipzig 2-0 up on Manchester City at half-time in the Champions League. Newcastle 1-0 up over on Talksport Live. They are 1-0 to the good against Paris Saint-Germain, courtesy of Alexander Isak. What an amazing result that would be if they did the double over the Parisians.
Phenomenal.
Take it to the last day to potentially get through to the knockout stages, Adrian.
It would be amazing. Yeah, it really would. I didn't fancy them tonight because PSG's record in the Champions League at the Parc de France is exceptional. But I think they could be in for a tough 45. But yeah, if they can cling on for 3 points, that would be some statement.
Well, what sort of 45 minutes are we in for here at the Cardiff City Stadium? Both teams back out. No further changes at the turnaround. We had that one change forced on West Brom in the first half where Jed Wallace had to go off and Brandon Thomas Asante came on for him. Incidentally, it's half-time with the Vic. Watford 2, Norwich 2. Norwich were 2-0 up but pegged back. And we're back underway here in South Wales. West Brom in that lurid lime green change kit will be attacking the Canton stand to our right. That's where the West Brom fans are this evening, in that corner of the stand. Cardiff in all blue attacking the Grange end to our left that they love to do in the second half of home matches. Out to the left-hand side. I'll run you through the lineups in a minute. West Brom with a throw. In fact, I'll do that now. It's Russell in goal for Cardiff. Romeo, Gautas, McGuinness and G across the back. Excuse me. Siopsis and Rawls. Bowler, Robinson, Tanner and Mate for West Brom. Palmer in goal. Furlong, Bartley, Kipre, Townsend, Yoxalu, Mowat, Swift, Diangana, Sarmiento and Thomas Asante are the lineups. And it's Kyle Bartley and Cedric Kipre, the two West Brom centre-halves in possession at the moment, just ahead of their own 18-yard line to our left as we look. Myself and Adrian Clark are sat, what, to 20-25 rows back in the west stand. The dugout's just down beneath us to our immediate left. As West Brom will try and pass the ball around inside their own half, and the ball's bobbling a little bit, forcing Kipre to launch it into the sky. Bounces on halfway, and the Bluebirds want it back, but only temporarily. Now Rawls gets his head in, and Tanner tries to play a 1-2 with Callum Robinson. Furlong heads the ball up in the air, but his second touch is superb to bring it down out of the sky, and then he wins a throw off the advancing Ollie Tanner, and West Brom have a throw, but it is deep in their own half on their right-hand side, 0-0.
Yeah, just didn't get anywhere there. They just were forced backwards by Cardiff City. They were knocking the ball around, but then they got themselves into a little bit of a pickle. Couldn't get full control of the ball, and as a consequence, they then have to take a throw in by their own corner flag. West Bromwich Albion, a bit too much passing inside their own half there.
Here's Joe Rawls into the area looking for Mate, but he was struggling to keep his balance as he scampered towards the ball, and even though he got his right foot on it, he was already tripping and falling over and just couldn't control his movement, and so the ball went behind for a goal kick to West Brom. 0-0 the score. A couple of minutes gone in the second half here on a dry, clear night. There's a full moon up above.
It's a beautiful night for football. It's not quite as cold as anticipated either, Dan.
Well, there's plenty of time for that yet.
Yeah, it's all right. I just want the football to get a little bit hotter, a little bit more goalmouth action.
As you say, two very evenly matched teams.
Yeah.
It's no surprise that these two teams are as close as they are to one another in the championship table.
Yeah, they're probing, they're feeling one another out, but I'd like to see a little bit more cut and thrust, more sustained pressure, and a little bit more tempo from both sides when they have the ball, because it's been quite sedate at times, and if it continues in this manner, we're not going to see a high-scoring affair.
Well, the game's gone. I've just seen the West Brom staff handing out hot water bottles to the players on the bench.
Oh dear, yeah, you definitely didn't get that when I was a player. That's
you just get the extra deep heat rubbed into the thighs at half-time, didn't you?
Absolutely, yeah. You used to rely on that.
Sit there glowing in the second half.
Hot water, but why not? I suppose. If you can afford, 7 or 8 hot water bottles, get them out there, I guess.
Well, I would hope a football club can afford hot water bottles in their budget. Now, ball at the edge of the area. Yoxalu under pressure from a couple of Cardiff players who are pressing high at the pitch, Cardiff, but West Brom comfortably get the ball up to halfway themselves. Mowat turns on the halfway line, closed down by former baggy Callum Robinson, and now Connor Townsend gets his head up on halfway, the left back for the visitors. Lays it off to the left-hand side for Swift. West Brom's top scorer with 6 goals in the championship this season. Thomas Asante the next closest with 4 in this division for the Baggies. Thomas Asante's just come short for a moment as Swift keeps the ball on halfway, just knocks it back into his own half for Yoxalu, who's come in between the two centre-halves. Good possession football from West Brom for a moment, not hurting Cardiff just yet, but now they play that left to Sarmiento, who's got a chance to run at Josh Bowler. Left-hand corner of the box, whips it in right-footed, scores a magnificent goal. Jeremy Sarmiento wrapped his right foot round a shot from the left-hand corner of the box, and it fairly tore away from Runarsson and into the top corner. He goes to celebrate with the Baggies fans in the far corner. That is a sensational hit from the on-loan star, Jeremy Sarmiento, to put West Brom in front 5 minutes into the second half. They're boinging away to our right because it's Cardiff 0, West Bromwich Albion 1.
Special from Sarmiento, very special. What a finish this is. He drops the shoulder, comes in onto his right foot. You think, is he going to cross it? But no, he whips it at pace into the far top corner. That is an outstanding effort from the young Brighton and Hove Albion loanee. Unstoppable.
Fantastic goal. His first since August when he scored against Middlesbrough for West Bromwich Albion. He'll remember that for a long time to come. Superb hit. Nothing Runarsson. You could have had 2 goalkeepers in that net and they wouldn't have kept that out. Just curled in at the right moment to nestle in the side netting.
Oh, that's some whip on it, didn't it? That was a ferocious bender.
And so the deadlock broken in South Wales, and it's the West Brom fans you can hear away to our right celebrating. We'll go third with a win here tonight, West Bromwich Albion, and they lead by a goal to nil. We played 6 minutes of the second half. Elsewhere, Stevenage 2, Peterborough 1. Posh get a goal back through Joe Randall. Bartley on halfway for West Brom. Now Swift, who's allowed to turn, tries to fire the ball downfield for Thomas Asante. He loses out. Now let's see what Cardiff City are made of. Only lost 1 of their last 7 games here at the Cardiff City Stadium, but their tight defence has been breached here by a very, very special goal. And there's another goal at the MKM in the second half. I'll go there in a second. In fact, I will go there now because I thought Mayte was away clear for Cardiff, but it was nowhere near the pass intended for him by Callum Robinson. So who's got that goal up at the MKM? Talksport's Mark Wilson can tell us.
It's Hull 4, Rotherham 0, and it's another goal for Jaden Philogene. More good play from Tyler Morton. He's been outstanding. Good ball from the left from Lakilo. Twine's effort was denied. It fell to Philogene 12 yards out. His second of the night. 6 in 7 for him. Hull 4, Rotherham 0.
Thanks, Mark. Tyler Morton, of course, a West Brom boy coming through there. I remember him scoring vital goals for Northampton Town on loan in the playoffs for the Cobblers. Harrogate equalised against Wrexham. They were 2-0 down, but it's 2-2 now. Anthony O'Connor gets the Railwayman level at Wetherby Road. And Ender Stevens has been sent off for Stoke City. They're 1-1 at QPR. Second yellow card. Joins the 2 lemon make a strawberry file. Ender Stevens is off, so Stoke down to 10 men against a QPR side bidding for their first win in 13 matches. 1-1 the score there at the Loft. Here at the Cardiff City Stadium, it is Cardiff City 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. A quite sumptuous goal from Jeremy Sarmiento 5 minutes after the restart has put the Baggies in front.
Yeah, the game needed it as well. It felt like it needed something to spark it into life, and I didn't expect a moment of quality like that. That was Premier League class, Champions League class, wasn't it? From young Jeremy Sarmiento. He's 21. He's been really bright all evening. Not everything's come off for him, but whew, that strike did, didn't it? Phenomenal.
And the Ecuadorian in possession once again down the left-hand side, getting a few boos for daring to score.
No, I think, were they saying shoot?
City.
I think, were they saying shoot?
Oh, I thought it was boo. You're probably right.
I think they were saying shoot. I mean, he can shoot from anywhere for the rest of the season after an effort like that, because he was on the wing.
Yeah.
It wasn't within shooting range. I think that's why Runarsson was caught out, as well as the quality of the hit. I just don't think he would have expected it, and I wouldn't pull the keeper up on that either.
There's a triple change coming up for Cardiff City. Meantime, Errol Bulut has decided that the best way to counteract this scoreline against Cardiff City is to make substitutions. We'll get to that in a moment, but here is Sarmiento laying the ball off to Swift as West Brom come forward again. It's with Yoxalu out to the left-hand side. Swift will lay infield for Mowat. Mowat just finds Connor Townsend, and Sarmiento calling for it left wing, level with the penalty area, up against Romeo, tries a couple of step overs, gets past him, but then actually took the ball out of play. A throw in, and that will mean that the changes can be made for Cardiff. And Jonathan Panzo on loan from Nottingham Forest, defender, is one of those coming on, and Marlon Romeo is going to walk all the way around the side of the pitch because he's the first number that comes up.
Yeah, he's disappointed, isn't he?
He does look disappointed the way he just dropped the ball there. Joe Rawls, who did have a bit of treatment in the first half, is having to come off, and Ryan Wintle is going to come on to replace him in the heart of the Cardiff City midfield. And the man who scored the winner deep into stoppage time, Ike Ugbo, who had a free header at Deepdale. Nobody within 5 yards of him when he headed the winner goal on Saturday. He's on for Yaku Mete. So like-for-like changes for 2 of those switches, but Panto's going to go to left back, so Perry Ng will move back to his more orthodox right back position for Cardiff.
Yeah, and I get that, because with Jamalu Collins being out, I think the balance of the team was impacted. Obviously, they lost Carlin Grant as well, so I think the whole left-hand side suffered as a consequence, and I just don't think they've found any flow so far this evening, Cardiff. At least by putting Perry Ng back in his more comfortable position where he likes to get forward, it might just add a new dimension.
Sarmiento trying to wriggle clear down the left-hand side. He forced Gautas to put the ball out for a throw, and Sarmiento just whipping up the West Brom fans in that corner as he runs back in field, just giving them.
It's a pocket of energy. He's a little ball of energy, isn't he? There's not much of him, Sarmiento, but he's lively. Everything he does is quick, isn't it?
He waits for a throw. He's at the dead ball line in case Connor Townsend looks for him. It's about 10 yards from the corner flag on that far side of the field. Mowat collects the throw. Sarmiento somehow keeps the ball in play right at the dead ball line when he had Ng all over him. And then West Brom win a free kick as Swift was brought down. Morecambe 1, Newport 2. And the Exiles lead once again at the Globe Arena. Seb Palmer Holden for Newport County.
You've got to say, for Carlos Corberán, it's a great moment seeing the player that you bring in, someone who's not a regular, you bring them in unexpectedly because Matt Phillips has been playing ever so well. For him to come into the side and shine like he has, to contribute in the manner that he has, is very, very pleasing, I'd imagine, for the head coach.
So a free kick that Alex Mowat's preparing to take for West Bromwich Albion. It's midway point of the Cardiff half. It's quite a way out to the left-hand side, only about 5 or 6 yards in from the far touchline. Mowat raises his right arm. Cardiff defending the 18-yard line. Whipped in by Mowat. Bartley went for a header, but there was a push on Wintle. And so Cardiff have a free kick inside their own penalty area. We played 57 minutes on Talksport 2. You're home with the EFL. It is Cardiff City 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. Adrian Clark.
And they have to raise their game now. They have to show more as an attacking force. Ryan Wintle, slightly more attacking player than Joe Rawls, so I can see that. Ugbo obviously just offers a different threat. He's certainly very, very strong in the air, isn't he? And we've seen Josh Bowler move to this left-hand side as well. As a consequence, we've had a little switch up with Tanner going to the right. So it's a completely different forward line for Cardiff. Nothing really had clicked previously. Can this selection of Bluebirds players offer more?
Well, we know that Cardiff City were behind until the 95th minute at Deepdale on Saturday, but 2 quick goals against Preston turned a defeat into a victory, and Preston are suffering tonight up at the Riverside against Middlesbrough. There for Talksport 2, Graham Courtney.
Yeah, they are, Ian. Middlesbrough 3, Preston North End 0. I've got to confess, I was looking forward to this game because Preston, they've had some decent results of late, but they just started to feel as though there might be just, a little bit of a hiccup in the ranks. And at the moment, well, it's nearly all Middlesbrough. Another chance here for the Borough. The ball gets thinked into the area, and that one just going wide as well. And at the moment, well, Preston North End, we're approaching the hour mark here. They haven't had a shot on target, and the only 2 shots that have come in have been, well, daisy cutters, put it that way. Only seen 1 effort since you were last here in this second half. 20-yard shot by the Borough's Morgan Rogers. Good save, though, by Freddie Woodman in the Preston goal. It's Middlesbrough 3, Preston 0.
10-man Stoke are 2-1 up at QPR. Wouter Berger has put the Potters in front at Loftus Road.
Such a bad record there, haven't they?
Yeah. Accrington Stanley 0, Swindon 3 as well. Saidu Khan with a third for the Robins. Now here come West Brom looking for their goal scorer. Sarmiento keeps the ball in play down the left-hand side. He's got defenders backpedaling, moves into the box, but actually tried to do too much there and just lost control of the ball completely. But Cardiff's clearance only finds a West Brom player on the halfway line. Kipre will just guide the ball back to his keeper.
I don't want to be too critical of Sarmiento, but that is the one thing I've picked up on all evening, actually. He's not always in full control of the ball. He's looking to do everything so quickly that sometimes he's running with it, but the ball is getting away from him, and that wasn't the first time that's happened. I'm guessing as well with Errol Bula, he's thinking Perry Ng over at right back isn't just an attacking move. It's we need to contain this Sarmiento kid. Obviously, Marlon Romeo was struggling in that regard.
Cardiff 0, West Brom 1. Talksport with an hour gone here on Talksport 2. NG works the ball out to Tanner on the right-hand side. Oh, he forgot to take the ball with him. And Sarmiento is fouled as he tried to take the ball clear. And Ollie Tanner, a bit embarrassed there that he just
can't believe it,
was making tracks at real good pace down the far right-hand side, but didn't take the ball with him.
Oh, he's just back-heeled it, hasn't he, to Sarmiento. Yeah, he's got in a right mess there, Ollie Tanner. It's a shame, because I've seen him have some very good games this season, particularly as an impact substitute. He's quick, he's direct, but tonight nothing's really has happened for Ollie Tanner, and you could probably say the same for all of the attacking players at Cardiff City, maybe with the exception of Josh Bowler, who had a couple of good runs and certainly had their best effort on goal that was well saved.
1-0 here to West Bromwich Albion. There's another goal at the MKM there for Talksport 2, Mark Wilson.
Yeah, life in Rotherham. Yeah, they've got one back. It's Hull 4, Rotherham 1. It came from a corner. It was whipped in from Rathbone on the left-hand side. Headed back into the 6-yard box. Grant Hall's header, it was soft, but it found Allsop rooted to the spot and it went in at the far post. Hull 4, Rotherham 1.
And Tranmere back in front at Mansfield. Rob Apter gets Tranmere second. Remember, Mansfield lost their unbeaten league record at the weekend. Wigan are 3-0 up on 10-man Fleetwood. Tom Pearce gets the third for Wigan, who are going to go 6 unbeaten. They've drawn their last 3 before tonight. Of course, they started the season with a points deduction, Wigan Athletic, starting the night in 18th place in the division. 1-0 here to West Bromwich Albion. Cardiff, having made that triple change, there's a couple of changes coming up for West Bromwich Albion. Young Tom Fellows from their academy is going to be one of those coming on. So too Matt Phillips, who Adrian Clark was talking about only a second ago. That's the double change that Carlos Corberan has got ready. You can see the Cardiff fans trying to give their team a G up.
Well,
they're
they
needing
need
a bit of a spark here.
They do, and I think the Cardiff fans are bang on. They need to get behind the team, and the players need to lift themselves. I expected far more from them as an attacking force tonight. They've scored 2 or more in 10 games already this season, 10 of 17. They only scored 2 or more in 10 of 46 last season. That shows you how much has changed here. They are a good, strong, dangerous, positive side, but we haven't really seen that tonight.
No evidence particularly just yet, but there's plenty of time to go. 63 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Cardiff a goal down here at home to West Bromwich Albion, bidding to go 3rd in the table. Portsmouth have a second at Burton Albion to lead 2-0. Alex Robertson for Pompey. Long ball floated downfield by Gautas. It's headed half cleared by Bartley, but Siopis is on the scene. It bobbles around the edge of the area. Bartley's there again to lob it clear. Panzo and McGuinness between them win the ball back for Cardiff City. Robinson gives the ball back to Siopis. Siopis looks early down the right-hand side, and Perry NG's giving chase. Will keep it in play. On the far side, up against Townsend now as he moves towards the penalty area. NG tries to lay it off to the edge of the area for Tanner, but it was a poor pass. And away come West Bromwich Albion with Thomas Asante skipping past challenges.
Brilliant.
To bring the ball up to the halfway line, but then he loses out. And then was Perry NG fouled by Thomas Asante? No, says referee Josh Smith. And it's a throw-in to West Brom, who still lead 1-0. And here comes not only the changes for West Brom that I mentioned, but also Ruben Colwell's going to come on for Cardiff. But first of all, the changes for West Brom. Dean Garner is making way for Tom Fellows. 20 years of age, he was at Crawley last season. All his appearances for West Brom this season, 7 in all now, have been as a substitute. And Matt Phillips on for the player that replaced him tonight from the starting line last time, and of course has scored. The goal scorer, Jeremy Sarmiento, is off. And the change for Cardiff sees Callum Robinson go off to allow Ruben Colwell to come on. So Callum Robinson unable to affect things against his old club tonight. He's been substituted.
Yeah, he was pretty ineffective, wasn't he? Ruben Colwell, I remember seeing him 2 or 3 seasons ago actually, when he first burst onto the scene, scored a great goal. I think it might have been a double at the City ground.
He's grown a bit since I last saw him. He's a good half a foot taller.
I think you might be right. He certainly was young enough to carry on growing, but he hasn't really kicked on. Hasn't ever really nailed down a regular starting berth. Opportunity for him here to change the game.
25 minutes to go. Ian Danton and Adrian Clark with you on Talksport 2. It's 1-0 to West Brom. Blackpool have equalised against Northampton. Jordan Rhodes, 11 for the season for Jordan Rhodes. Notts County have taken the lead against Crawley. They were 1-0 down, but Jim O'Brien has put them 2-1 up at Meadow Lane. Here at the Cardiff City Stadium, West Brom, a goal to the good. Mowat in possession on halfway, plays it out to the left-hand side for Townsend, and it goes back infield for Alex Mowat once again. They're trying to close off some of the routes, Cardiff, but they pass through quite neatly to find Kyle Bartley of West Brom, and he goes back for Cedric Kipray, who in turn touches the ball off to the keeper Alex Palmer, who's had very little to do. But then Runason equally has not had a great deal to do other than watch Sarmiento shot raw past him a few minutes ago.
It's true.
Here is Swift, just laying it off for the moment as Townsend plays it down the left-hand side of the box. Chance for a cross to come in. Phillips, who's just come onto the field. Has he won a corner? What's the assistant given? A goal kick is given on this near side to Cardiff City, almost at the midway point of the second half, and it's still 1-0 to the visitors.
Yeah, and I think they do deserve it on the balance of play. I think they just shaded the first half, and in the second half in particular, they've been vastly superior, in my opinion. Very, very controlled in possession. That's the thing that really stands out about them. They create overloads all over the place. They've brought in Furlong to be that inverted fullback / central midfielder to good effect, particularly in this second half. And yeah, they just look a little bit more at ease with themselves. I think Cardiff are really missing Grant and Jamanu Collins, two regulars from this starting 11.
Yeah, both absent for different reasons. One for suspension, one because he can't play against his parent club. But here's Josh Bowler, who's looked the man most likely for Cardiff this evening. But then he loses out to Alex Mowat inside the West Brom half. Mowat tucks it back to Townsend, plays the ball along the 18-yard line to his right to find Bartley. And now Darnell Furlong for West Brom gets his head up and plays the ball up to the halfway line. Good first touch from Thomas Asante. The second wasn't so good, and Cardiff win it back. Wintle plays the ball down the right-hand side for Tanner. Tanner running into traffic, though. Needs help. Gets it from Ryan Wintle once again. And plays the ball just to his right for Perry and G. Manchester City get a goal back against Leipzig. 2-1 the score. Yeah, you know who scored it. You don't need me to tell you. It's him again.
Ruben Diaz?
Yeah. No. The boy from Norway. Here's Panzo for Cardiff City, and if Carlos Corberán had the big loon pants on, he'd look like MC Hammer the way he's dancing up and down the touchline doing "You Can't Touch This," because he is a ball of energy.
He is. He's been very restrained tonight, actually.
By his standards, he has.
Yeah, he's barely been out there, but yeah, he's probably getting a bit cold in his seat.
Well, he wants to see his team hang on.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't be hanging on. They've actually been in full control, really, of this second half. No alarm bells as such. I think Cardiff will be desperately disappointed with what they've produced up until this point, but they do have time to turn it around. Still over 20 minutes left to play, and the other day they were 1-0 down with in injury time, weren't they?
It is 1-0 to West Brom, and they have the ball just shy of the centre circle in their own half with Yoxalou. Strokes it out to this near side, and suddenly Tom Fellows gets up ahead of steam. Helped out on this near side. And there was a foul on Darnell Furlong by Mark McGuinness, and that's a free kick level with the penalty area down the right-hand side of the box for West Bromwich Albion, who lead by a goal to 0 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, he made him the cardinal sin there, didn't he, Mark McGuinness? Just an arm on the back of Darnell Furlong, who's very, very experienced.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Down you go.
Down he went. I mean, there's no way there was enough force to knock him over, but he's bought the free kick, and John Swift is over this. We know he's got quality in these situations. And look how bold West Brom are, by the way. They're pushing for the second goal here.
Everybody back for Cardiff, and they've sent everybody forward. Bar Connor Townsend have West Brom. In it comes from Swift. Lovely delivery, headed up and down and over the bar. Yoxalu was the man that got something on it, but there was an offside flag up against a West Brom player. It just found its way through to Yoxalu in the centre of the area on 6 yards as a Cardiff player that's gone down injured in the melee around that offside flag. 20 minutes to go, and it is still Cardiff City 0, West Bromwich Albion 1 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, I didn't see an offside in there. I wonder whether there was a foul instead. Certainly Yokozlu was onside. He was coming from a deeper position. It was actually a bad miss. Really poor header, straight into the ground.
I think he saw it late.
And over the bar, yeah. But what a delivery it was from John Swift. And it just gives Carlos Corberán and his coaching staff that opportunity now to have a word with his players. You can see that they're a little bit more switched on, aren't they, West Brom? The players are all in dialogue with one another, the coaching staff. Cardiff, you look around, everyone's on their own. The manager isn't talking to any individual players. I think, you know, they're feeling pretty dispirited at the minute.
1-0 to West Brom. Barcelona have turned it around in the Champions League. They lead FC Porto by 2-1. João Felix with the second for Barca. Got a double bill of live football for you on Talksport 2 tomorrow night. Galatasaray, Manchester United at 5:45, and we follow that with Leeds United against Swansea City at 7:45 from the Championship. And Jason Malumbi is about to come on for another West Bromwich Albion change. It's Gautas who needed treatment for a problem with his shoulder, it seems, but he's going to be okay. Meantime, Milton Keynes have equalised against Grimsby. That's 1-1 at Stadium MK. Jack Payne, let's get an update from Vicarage Road in the Championship into the second half there. Talksport 2, Ian Abrahams.
58 gone, still Watford 2, Norwich 2, but how goodness only knows. Ryan Andrews, cross from the right-hand side, was just about clawed away by George Long from under his crossbar. Even closer, Kone, 20 yards out, curling effort, smashed against the underside of the woodwork. Watford are tearing into Norwich right now. Watford 2, Norwich 2.
But they came from 2 goals down, Watford. They were level just before half-time, and they're clearly applying the pressure. Waiting for Cardiff to apply the pressure here, really, on West Bromwich Albion. Clearance downfield. Will bounce down the left-hand side for John Swift. Can't keep it in play. Josh Madger is about to get a taste of life as a West Bromwich Albion player. He's also coming on, as well as Jason Malumbi, in a moment once the ball goes dead. Just considering whether to make this change now, West Brom, whilst the ball's out for this Cardiff City throw.
Well, it just goes to show, doesn't it, that the depth that we talked about earlier on is improving now that they're getting players back off the treatment table, because Phillips has come on, Thomas Asante's come on. Now you've got Josh Madger and Jason Malumbi. These are all really good Championship level players with plenty of experience.
So John Swift is coming off, and so too is Okay Yoxalu. So it's an attacking change. Josh Madger finally getting his opportunity to represent West Bromwich Albion. Hasn't started since his move from Bordeaux in July, former Sunderland Academy product. So he's getting a few precious minutes out there, and he's got 17 minutes to show what he can do for the travelling West Brom contingent.
Yeah, he's an exciting player, no doubt about it. Decent goal record. It means Brandon Thomas Asante's just been shifted over to that left-hand side, I think, or just in behind him. I don't think they're going to go with 2 up front here, the Baggies.
Big goal for Coventry. They lead Plymouth by 1-0 at the Coventry Building Society Arena, and it's Haji Wright with his 5th of the season, the American, putting Coventry in front, looking for back-to-back wins after that very surprising win at Millwall on Saturday by 3-0.
Yeah, that was a cracking result, wasn't it? Ruined Joe Edwards' home debut as the manager there at Millwall.
Barrow 2, Walsall 0. Niall Canavan for Barrow. Now here comes Tom Fellows, skipping down the right-hand side for West Bromwich Albion. He's taken Panzo with him. Gets to near the corner flag, thinking about checking onto his right foot for a cross, hits it against Panzo, and it goes out of play for a throw. Blackpool 1, Northampton 2. Sam Hoskins puts Northampton back in front, and that's an 11th of the season for him. And Doncaster 2, Colchester 1. A West Brom low knee, Mo Fowl. That's 2 in 2 for him, as Doncaster take the lead in League 2 at the Keepmoat And a change sees Keon Atete coming on for Ollie Tanner. And Keon Atete is a target man, former Tottenham youth player. I saw him coming through on loan at Northampton Town, where he actually took Coventry to the cleaners in the League Cup tie a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he's a handful. Big boy.
But he's got some defending to do, first of all, because there's a long throw coming in for West Brom. Into the Cardiff box, into the near post. Oh, it's cleared up in the air. Thomas Asante heads over the bar from not right underneath the crossbar, but only a couple of yards out. But he headed it straight up in the air and over. Big chance for West Brom to double the lead and surely secure the points. 15 to go, 1-0.
He jumps too early here. Thomas Asante gets up, but he can't guide the ball underneath the crossbar. It was actually a really poor long throw, but it was so bad that it was good, because it flicked off a defender who wasn't expecting it, spun to Thomas Asante, and he just got up too early. He was hanging in the air, and because of that he couldn't guide it on target. That was a let-off, I think, for Cardiff.
Port Vale 0, Derby County 1. Tyrese John-Jules putting Derby ahead at Vale Park. Cardiff 0, West Brom 1. Cardiff bringing the ball forward, and it's Gautas sliding it out to the right-hand side, but it's way beyond Josh Bowler trying to make the run. Played that pass blind, did Dimitrios Gautas, and didn't find his man, so it's going to be a throw for West Brom in their left-back position, just over the midway point of their own half. Carlos Corberán, as usual, a bundle of energy just down beneath us, seeing if his team can hang on, because it is only 1-0.
Oh, good ball.
As Tom Fellows gets away down the right-hand side of the area, beyond Panzo, plays the cross into the far post. It's beyond Thomas Asante. Kept in play by Phillips. Phillips, left-hand corner of the penalty area. Just checks his run for a moment. Can roll it across maybe to Malumbi. Malumbi lets it go for Darnell Furlong. Now Fellows again, back for Jason Malumbi, fresh onto the field as a West Brom substitute. And then back it comes to Carl Bartley, and Carlos Corberán tells Tom Fellows to get back 10 yards or so. Here's Furlong looking for Fellows, who can maybe attack Panzer once again down this near side. The West Brom winger gets to the byline, lovely cross again, and it's chested back so calmly by Perry NG to his goalkeeper Renarsson. 1-0 West Brom.
Very cool, wasn't it, from NG? Two excellent pieces of wing play from the youngster for West Bromwich Albion. Tom Fellows going on the outside onto his right foot. He's whipped two excellent balls into the danger zone there. He looks a good technician to me, nice and confident. And what really struck me was Carlos Corberán urging his teammates to give it to the kid, give it to Fellows.
Ball downfield for Keon Atete, who's offside as he collected 25 yards out with his back to goal. Mansfield equalise against Tranmere for a second time at the one call. 2-2 now. Will Swan, who I think is on loan from Nottingham Forest, if memory serves me rightly, has got the Stags level. I hope he didn't celebrate. Nigel Clough's not into that. Says it expands too much energy for players to celebrate. Just shake hands with your teammates and walk back to the halfway line. Not having that, are you?
Not having that at all. Come on, it's the best bit.
Here's Keon Atete, suddenly picks the ball up down the left-hand side of the box for Ugbo. Tries to pull it back, and it's put behind for a corner. Super defending by Kyle Bartley, but it is a corner for Cardiff City. But they are claiming at the Grange End that Bartley handled it as he went to ground.
Wow, no chance for me. It's a lovely little 1-2, actually, between Atete and Ugbo. It doesn't hit his hand. Massive appeals, but it's nowhere near his arm.
So corner for Cardiff City at the Grange End. Wintle whips it to the far post. Punched clear by Alex Palmer. Great punch as well. Comes out to Siopsis, puts it into the edge of the area. Bartley heads it up in the air. Furlong gets it hard clear under pressure from Atete. Where's that going to drop? Left-hand side for Wintle, and Cardiff will have it back. QPR 2, Stoke 2. QPR level for a second time through Lyndon Dykes at Loftus Road. Stoke down to 10 men, remember. QPR looking for their first win in 13. Wintle for Cardiff, swings the ball into the box from deep. Headed out by Kipre, good defending by the West Brom number 4. Then NG just lobs it up to the edge of the area. Bartley there calmly clears for West Bromwich Albion. Just over 10 minutes to go, and Cardiff trying to pressurise. NG plays it in field, driven goalwards, it just snakes wide. The effort was well wide from Ruben Colwell in the end, but it deflected wide. It's a corner given to Cardiff City, who are a goal down here.
Well, finally they've woken up and they're applying that sustained pressure that we were talking about, and around us the noise levels have been they're the loudest now that they've been all evening.
Wintle plays it back to Ruben Colwell, who chops onto his left at the edge of the area. The drive is blocked, comes out to Wintle down the left-hand side for Ruben Colwell. Good ball in, headed up in the air by Bartley. Great defending. Where's that going to drop? Josh Bowler at the edge of the area tries a left-footed volley, and it's a yard or two over. Connected very sweetly, but just couldn't keep it down. But that's more like it from Cardiff City as they try and get themselves level with 10 to go. 1-0 West Brom lead.
What a goal that would have been from Josh Bowler. It's a couple of yards wide in the end, but he strikes it nicely on the volley. But yeah, look, they're going to go direct, and this is the option that Errol Bulut always has. Because he's got Ugbo, because he's got Atete, he can go direct. They've wanted to play good football tonight, but now I think it's all about the percentage game and giving West Bromwich Albion something different to think about. And the early signs suggest that the Baggies aren't that comfortable dealing with that threat. That said, Bartley and Kipre are two of the biggest around.
They're coping okay so far, but it is only 1-0 to West Bromwich Albion. There's belief around this stadium that the Bluebirds can find a route to goal in these latter stages. 9 to go. Headed away by Bartley from a long ball downfield. Now Thomas Asante on halfway has got support from Madger. Madger will lay it off quite neatly to Darnell Furlong, who can bring the ball over halfway. Fellows makes a run inside Panzo. Great run from Fellows. Thomas Asante waiting for a cross, but brilliantly slid behind by Mark McGuinness to stop the cross from Fellows making its way across goal. But it is a corner to West Brom, who lead 1-0.
Oh, it's outstanding defending from McGuinness, but what a pass from Darnell Furlong. I'm loving the link-up between Furlong and Tom Fellows. It's a beauty of a ball. Slid in behind the fullback Panzo. That's 3 times now Fellows has got into great positions down this right-hand side.
Stevenage 2, Peterborough 2. Ronnie Edwards up from the back to equalise for the Posh. And Borussia Dortmund 3-1 up in Milan. Karim Adeyemi, Newcastle still 1-1 up in Paris. Here's West Brom's latest corner. Mow it deep to the far post. It goes through everybody. Actually took a touch off a Cardiff player, did it? Yes, says referee Josh Smith. And so West Brom can keep the pressure on at the Canton end to our right. 7.5 minutes of normal time to go. Cardiff 0, West Brom 1, and Matt Phillips, who delivered a corner early on against Ipswich on Saturday that led to the opening goal from Darnell Furlong. He's on corner duty again as he goes across to that corner by the West Brom fans.
Yeah, I got my eye on Furlong here. It's a near post flick on, wasn't it, from him against Ipswich Town.
The referee wants a word with a couple of players meantime. Carl Bartley is attracting his attention, and so too is Jonathan Panto. And the referee, who's about 2 foot shorter than the pair of them, gives him a bit of a warning. Manchester City equalise against Leipzig. Phil Foden makes it 2-2 at the Etihad. Lincoln 3-0 up at Cambridge. Jack Vale with the third for the Imps. Here's Phillips' corner, looking for Furlong on that near post, but it's Atete who volleys it half clear for Cardiff City. But it's back out on the left-hand side for Phillips, but Phillips loses out to Manolis Siopsis, and he's won a throw for Cardiff City, who are desperate to get the ball down the other end of the field. They trail 1-0.
Yes, it's not where they want to be in that right-back slot. Perry NG with the throw-in, but they can take heart with what they've produced in the last 10 minutes since those wholesale substitutions. Cardiff has definitely been better, but they need to somehow get the ball into the opposition half and play that percentage game that we were talking about.
Perry NG puts his foot through it to get it over halfway. Bowler gives chase, but Kipre calmly lobs it downfield. It might break for Thomas Asante at the edge of the area. He just came off the toe end of his boot and bounced through to Runarsson. Bowls it out underarm to McGuinness just outside the area. Now Panzo will play it up to the halfway line. Ugbo trying to turn Furlong, but that's too cute from Darnell Furlong. Knew exactly how to win the ball back. And now here's Fellows down the right for West Brom once again. Tries to get the cross in. Once again, terrific defending, this time from Siopsis. But it is another corner kick to West Bromwich Albion down to our right-hand side.
Like the look of the kid, I really do. It's 4 times now he's got in beyond the left-back. He's quick, and he's always looking to put the ball into the danger zone. It's blocked for another corner.
Well, clearly his spell at Crawley has done him the power of good, Tom Fellows. He's now trotting out to keep an eye on Josh Bowler in case Cardiff win quick ball from this corner kick and try and launch a counter-attack. It's Matt Phillips to take this right-footed out-swinging corner where the Cantona meets the West Stand just to our right, and it comes to the near post looking for the flick of Darnell Furlong, and that combination doesn't come off for West Brom this time, and it's a goal kick to Cardiff City. But only 5 minutes of normal time to go on Talksport 2. Cardiff desperately searching for an equaliser, but we remind you once again that they were 1-0 down beyond even this stage on Saturday afternoon at Deepdale and ended up coming away with all 3 points.
In that game, you know, they had 19 shots, only 4 for Preston. I know that for over half an hour they had 10 men, but it was a really good attacking performance, and we just haven't seen that from them this evening. It's been below par in that regard, but they now are inside the opposition half, and I think West Brom know what to expect.
West Brom bidding for their 3rd away win of the season. Their away form not quite matching their home form, but they're close to picking up 3 points here in South Wales. But Perry Ng darts down towards the corner flag, right-hand side, and wins a throw-in off Connor Townsend. Takes the throw quickly. Bowler to the byline, tries to keep possession as he won a corner off Mowat. No, it came off Bowler last of all, says the assistant on the far side. And that's a goal kick to West Bromwich Albion. And the seconds tick away at the Cardiff City Stadium. 1-0 to the Baggies.
It was a great touch from Bowler. For me, it was a corner. I understand the frustration. Josh Bowler is not letting it go. When this new directive comes in, potentially if just the captain's being able to talk to referees, I think there's going to be a few players in trouble.
Alfie May now has 14 for the season. A penalty against his former club, once again Cheltenham Town. He scored both against his old teammates. Charlton 2, Cheltenham 1.
Yeah, he's just a guarantee of goals at that level. Simple as that, Alfie May. God, what Cardiff would do for Alfie May, maybe leading the line for this final 3 minutes plus injury time.
West Brom leading by a 1-0, scored quite magnificently for them early in the second half by Jeremy Sarmiento, the Ecuadorian on loan from Brighton and Hove Albion. Hanging on to that lead, West Brom. Can Cardiff do anything about it in these closing stages? The ball's been lobbed up to halfway. Etete trying to show his strength and win a header against Kipre, but the ball ricochets away to the West Brom right back, Darnell Furlong. Tries to clear it downfield, but Ugbo came across to close down the space. You heard the ball thump against Ugbo's boot and out of play for a throw into West Brom, who are in no hurry to take it. There's a multi-ball system in operation, and Darnell Furlong has no option but to pick the ball up from the nearest cone so he can get it ball back into play.
Yeah, Albion fans in full voice over there in the far corner. Scarves are out. I think they've enjoyed this second half display. Well, they've looked a good team. They've looked very, very solid and professional.
It's their 3rd year back at Championship level, West Brom, after relegation in 2021. 10th and 9th in the last 2 seasons. They've never really come close in either of those seasons to mounting a sustained playoff challenge. But here they are with a chance to go 3rd in the table with this 1-0 scoreline that they currently have. Leicester next. That's live on Talksport 2 at the weekend at lunchtime. Doncaster 3, Colchester 1. Joe Ironside for Donny with a penalty. Bradford 3-0 up at Forest Green, Jamie Walker. And Swindon 4-0 up at Accrington. Charlie Austin gets the 4th for Swindon. They like a goal or two to Swindon, although they only got their first win in 9 against Mansfield at the weekend. Cardiff trying to win the ball back. They're a goal down here, remember, the Bluebirds, and they're deep inside their own half, and they've lost possession to Tom Fellows, but he can't get past his man, and indeed it's a throw-in to Cardiff City. 1 minute of normal time remaining, plus whatever Josh Smith, the referee, wants to add on. There's been quite a few substitutions. Remains to be seen how much he wants to add on. That was a handball from Darnell Furlong. Blindside of the referee, as they used to say in wrestling. But he spotted it.
Yeah, I think surely the linesman there had a little word. But look, still no major alarm bells.
Oh, one back by Jason Malumbi, and Albion coming forward to the edge of the area. Malumbi with a dry block by McGuinness. Again, McGuinness in the right place at the right time, as he was earlier with Tom Fellows' cross, to keep West Brom at bay. Now Etete on halfway, takes the touch, clipped by Bartley. Free kick for Cardiff City and a yellow card for Carl Bartley for kicking the ball away. QPR 3, Stoke 2. Ben Pearson for QPR. Is it going to be a first win? An own goal from Ben Pearson, should I say. Could be a first win in 13. And we're into 5 minutes of minimum stoppage time here at the Cardiff City Stadium. West Brom 1-0 up. Cardiff increasingly desperate.
Well, everyone's got to go forward here. This is last chance saloon almost. 5 minutes to save the day, Cardiff.
Wintle into the edge of the area with the free kick, bounces around the right-hand corner of the box. McGuinness tees it up for Bowler. Bowler plays it into the area. Kipre just hoofs it clear. Anywhere will do. And he's there again to head the ball clear as it came back into the area. Thomas Asante brings it down inside his own half. He's lost out, though, to Siopsis. Now Colwill gets a drive away and it snakes wide. It's a good yard or two wide, and Palmer had it covered to his right-hand side, and it's a goal kick to West Brom, and they still lead 1-0.
Ambitious from Ruben Colwill. It's well wide in the end. It's 3 yards. He never really caught it. And he was in a good position as well for Cardiff City.
There's a late goal at Vicarage Road in the 8 o'clock kickoff. Ian Abrahams.
13 minutes to go. Watford 3, Norwich 2. A shot from way out, parried by George Long to Yasser Espria. He was dancing along the touchline at one stage and tried to put the ball in the back of it. Squeezed in eventually. I don't know if a teammate got a touch. He's claiming the goal, but it's carnage. They've come from 2 down and lead 3-2.
Brilliant comeback from Watford. Here's Josh Bowler for Cardiff, a goal down here in the 2nd minute of 5 that have been added on. West Brom hanging on, cross into the West Brom box. Kipre there again with a diving header to get it clear. And Matt Phillips holds the ball up just shy of the halfway line, tries to feed Thomas Asante, but it's allowed to run out of play by Gautas. Barnsley 1, Wickham 0. Sam Cosgrove gets what looks like a late winner for the Tykes at Oakwell against Wickham. And Wickham are down to 10 men as well. Harry Boyce has got a 2nd yellow card. Accrington Stanley get a consolation back against Swindon. 4-1 Swindon lead at the Wham Stadium. 1-0 to West Brom here on Talksport 2 at the Cardiff City Stadium. Cardiff in possession on halfway with Dimitrios Gautas. Plays the ball out to the right-hand side and Perry NG. Colwill takes the ball off his toe, gives it back to Gautas. Just playing the ball around, looking for an opening. It's a deep cross into the area. Kian Etete heads it down. It came off Carl Bartley, and then Alex Palmer just dives on the ball and protects it. Carl Bartley didn't really know where the ball was as the cross came in, but Kian Etete's first touch let him down somewhat. 1-0 West Brom.
Yeah, it was whipped in at pace, wasn't it, from that far right-hand side. It was a really devilish ball to deal with. Again, there's appeals for handball, but it just hits the thigh of Carl Bartley, and he's saying to everybody, calm down, settle down. I had that under control, and I think West Bromwich Albion do have this match under control. I mean, throughout this 90 minutes.
The big game between 3rd and 1st, incidentally, Adrian, in League One has ended goalless. Oxford 0, Bolton 0. So that ends Bolton's run of 8 straight wins in all competitions, but they pick up a point at the Kazam. Cardiff 0, West Brom bomb. Ball's back with Alex Runarsson, the Cardiff goalkeeper. Right-footed, thumps it downfield, lands on the halfway line. It's headed back into the Cardiff half by the West Brom defence. Panzo heads it towards the edge of the centre circle. Wintle feeds it out to the right-hand side for Bowler. Great challenge by Connor Townsend, but he's stayed down. And here comes Josh Bowler again down the right-hand side. Colwill on the overlap. Here's Ruben Colwill. 3 to Weymouth with a cross. Pulls it across the face of goal and turned behind by Kipre for a late Cardiff corner as QPR go 4-2 up on 10-man Stoke to surely seal the 3 points, but a corner to Cardiff.
Yeah, this is it for Cardiff City. It's now or never. And they go short.
They go short to Perry NG, right-hand corner of the box. He gives it back to Wintle. Wintle will tease the ball into the area, blocked by Connor Townsend, and out for another corner kick over on that far side. Still, West Brom hanging on to a 1-0 victory here.
Yes, another appeal for handball. Referee was not in a good position to make any kind of call in regards to that decision. I look at the replay now. It does hit the back of his arm, but not deliberate, in my opinion.
Wintle's corner to around the penalty spot. Great header clear from Carl Bartley. Comes out to Siopsis, who tries a right-footed effort that's not that far wide from right downtown, a good 30 yards out when Siopsis let fly. And I think, again, Alex Palmer might have had it covered. Whatever happens, it's a goal kick to West Brom.
Great
and
header.
The 5 minutes of minimum stoppage is nearly up, Adrian Clark.
It is, yeah. It was a great header from Carl Bartley. Just the one shot on target for both teams here tonight. It's not been a thriller, but for me, West Bromwich Albion have been the better side, more controlled.
And the ball goes downfield. The referee blows the full-time whistle, and West Bromwich Albion have gone third in the Championship. Another statement win in the Championship. This time they get themselves a 1-0 win at Cardiff City. It was a brilliant winner as well from Jeremy Sarmiento, the on-loan Ecuadorian from Brighton. Fired a sumptuous right-footed strike from near the left-hand corner of the penalty area early in the second half. Super goal to win it, and really Cardiff had little response to what West Brom had. It's another clean sheet for West Brom. It's another 3-point haul, and they're giving Leicester and Ipswich above them just something to think about in the Championship table.
Yeah, Carlos Corberán's side are grinding out the wins. 9 clean sheets for the season, and they never really look like conceding tonight in one of the toughest looking Championship away fixtures here at Cardiff City. They were in full control. Just the one save from Alex Palmer, from Josh Bowler, smart off his line. For the rest of this game, Bartley, Kipre, Darnell Furlong, Connor Townsend, untroubled really. It was a desperately disappointing home performance, and the match was lit up by that wonder goal from Jeremy Sarmiento. Everybody was expecting the cross, but a little Ecuadorian whipped it at pace into the far corner. Stunning goal to win the game, and I think West Bromwich Albion deserved the 3 points.
They're just heading over, the West Brom players, to that corner of the Canton stand where the West Brom fans are giving them rapturous applause. When you think of the last 2 seasons where West Brom really haven't done themselves justice with the squad they've got, the wage bill that they've got, we shouldn't forget there's a lot of players on an awful lot of money at West Bromwich Albion. But this season, it seems, under Carlos Corberán, they're doing the business more often than not. They go third in the table.